Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Blood and Sand. Our party has decided to delve the Underdark in an attempt to stop marauding bands of raiders and slave drivers, denying a city that they're concerned uses slaves for sacrifices of some divine or bizarre mean. And now, the party has begun their delving. However, I think somebody's a chicken shit and wants to try and change up the team roster. So,
You say
Dawn
chicken shit, I
Bringers.
say strategist. The most strategic out of all of you.
That's true.
So, Mr. Stratagem.
How do you
No.
wish to protect yourself?
I shall continue to go at the front because I have the best track record of reviving myself.
We
Maybe it's
discussed
because
this
there's more
last
tactics and
session.
strategy.
You can't think about it for a week and then change your mind. We discussed it last session what the marching order was going to be.
I feel like Wednesday was a sign. Shut up, you! Creatures of the
When-
damned! You go back to your basement!
Ow.
That's what I thought.
If you hadn't told me that she has gone home, I would have presumed.
She's been quiet all day. The moment we come in here and try to play, she starts screaming.
She likes D&D.
Boom, boom.
If she liked D&D, then she would come in the room, but she doesn't.
Yeah, roll a character, bitch. You can play it back.
She likes D&D from a distance, otherwise known as D&D and D.
Do-do-do.
Okay. So, torches are out, if I'm correct. I believe Buckley currently has the Sun Sword active with its dim light to cause a radio brightness for.
That's what that ring is.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
only
light
light we
we
have
need.
at the moment.
Aside from that, there is it goes more to faint shadows beyond that. So, Alistair, you've essentially an effective 10 more feet beyond that just because it's behind you. But aside from that, the only other person who is actually able to see in the dark is Delmara. So, bear that in mind. If the lights go out, everyone is technically blinded. Aside from those two. And even then, you are only seeing what you're currently seeing, but it'll be in black.
Yes, our dark vision is 60 feet.
Mhm. So.
Ooh, because Warlock.
Umbral sight.
Ah,
Could have picked Devil's Sight.
I also did. Oh, yes,
Okay.
20.
Yeah, 120.
You've won 20 that can actually see through the spell darkness and things like that. That's why that is so powerful.
it's very good.
Yeah.
120 feet is pretty far, so that's good.
Yep.
I'm gonna drop a light on Grunt,
Where?
A light shower.
her forehead.
Okay, Grunt, you were blinded as you have this light just directly above your eyes, like, ah!
Isn't that what eyebrows are for?
Do you have eyebrows left after all the stuff you do?
Surprisingly, yes.
I put it on like her shield or something like that.
You just, like, reach around Grunt. She has to, like, help you reach around to the other side of the shield, and you tap the shield at the back of it to perform.
Reach around, huh?
I was gonna say I was so proud to speak without saying anything.
It's gonna be one of them sessions, is it?
When Buckley's the one making the lewd remarks.
It's gallows humor, because you all know where you're going. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway.
so,
Okay.
As
But-
you continue your descent, it goes 10 minutes, then 30, then an hour, then 2 hours. And as you're descending, by about the hour mark, the stone around you changes from this well-cut dwarven stonework to almost cylindrical, with beaten and grooved path. It's not an easy travel, and you imagine anything like a load-bearing beast would have great difficulty here. And it's maybe 20 feet high is the places you go, but it is only about 5 or so feet wide. You begin seeing signs as you go of thin, faint bioluminescent fungi that are. You notice this after maybe an hour and a half of them actually being grooved or grown in such a particular way that they almost serve like strips of lights above at the very peak of the ceiling, some of which are crushed in or have grown around stalagmites to give this very shifting light as it goes. It gives hues of greens at times or blues as it varies. So, with Alistair at the front of this party, I am going to have him make the party's perception check.
No pressure.
Okay, cool. There we go. It's about the right color for lights.
Okay. So then. That actually worked out nearly perfectly. So you guys continue to move yourselves along, deep within the Underdark. Alistair, you're keeping your ears out, not familiar with this space that you're currently in. The ground beneath you is clammy, and it's solid slab stone almost. There are moments where people have to catch themselves as you guys continue to descend, because it's always this slight downward slope. And it'd be a case of, you get the feeling this would be a difficult trek backwards if you were at pace. You'd have to be very careful to make sure you don't slip or lose yourselves.
That'd be fun if I slip.
If you slipped, this would quite literally be like...
What is that?
Well, water slide could be one option. Like the Simpsons super happy fun slide, except there's worse than vampires waiting for you at the end.
Super happy fun slide.
No.
There we go.
No.
By this point, you getting a little bit tired as you're traveling in. It's the constant paranoia and wanting to keep your eyes peeled for anything, but simultaneously it's this monotony to your travels. Alistair, as you're traveling, you do hear like this small like a air releasing kind of sound, like a bag that's getting air squeezed out of it. And you look about and you can see maybe about 100 feet down the tunnel ahead of you. Like just at an angle, you're not able to see it till you get to about 80 feet. But you see like this hanging fungus that just droops in the place. And it's got this kind of thing to it where it's just inhaling with a very sharp wheeze before exhaling, like this just this exhaling of air and these small spores.
Would Alistair know what this sort of plant matter is?
You can make a nature check from a distance to see if you have an idea of it. You were mostly designated to swamps, and while you imagine this is definitely not an edible plant, from your glances at it, you do stop anyone from moving forward, because what you're noticing is it releases spores, and there's almost like not so much a drift or a breeze, but something just draws it down the tunnelway ahead of you. And it doesn't seem like it's harmful or poisonous. There are other things, like other forms of fungus that are living around it, so it's not like this would be, say, choking anything or overwhelming anything. This is something that you notice.
Okay. So that's about sort of up here-ish.
Yeah, I'll get a token for it. Right.
See, vision and sound aren't so much for getting past that. If it's making spores that are in the air, it's movement that it's most easily going to detect, which is the problem.
It's a very small spore, you're noticing. It's maybe like not even a foot diameter, like all around. Like for some of the things you've seen in the world, like plant life, especially in places like Old Fortune or in the Duskhaven Swamp, this is a small thing, like including like roots, and the fact is like maybe 2 or 3 of them collected together, it takes up maybe about a foot space.
Okay, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace on the party.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and delicately lead them sort of
This thing.
slaloming through. I can click the actual spell.
Okay, so you doing that, I would like everyone to make a stealth check then, to try and pass through without...
Shit.
You have plus 10 to this.
Can I ask that we travel at a slow pace?
I mean, we're in no rush, I suppose. A 32 for myself.
If we go at a slow pace, does that do anything?
Not for us.
It does for me. That'll be 41 on stealth.
That'll be 16 for Shimmer.
So you think I don't have
I rolled,
so
two,
on.
I rolled 2 19s. That's the highest I can get without a natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
41.
Okay, 21. Not bad.
So you have 21.
Yeah,
Grunt.
basically, well, where I was. That's right. Panicking for nothing.
Oh. No, that didn't.
1. So I'm back at disadvantage with stealth. Oh yeah.
I don't know if anyone's actually wearing those boots, but I think it's because you're attuned to something else, because I've still got the flight boots.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I have them on me still.
23?
It's just that I got Mind's Bane now.
Okay.
The
So, all you guys are doing is just like you're trying to keep a low profile, you have your torches out, and you're just trying to move past this thing.
Yeah, I'll keep.
We're following your lead on this one.
I'll keep about, or like, I will try and stay at the turn before the rest of the party gets there, so I can look down and see what's coming up ahead.
Okay, Alistair, as you're there, you see like a small portion of bioluminescent fungi is quite close to it. And there's a weird thing that you're only noticing now that you've gotten as close as you are, and you stop everyone again behind you. Like, you don't let anyone move up to where you currently are. And... very important button.
I love that from
That
Buckley.
he moved,
Step
he
forward,
just-
step back.
that he moved exactly where he did and not a step further.
Step forward,
So-
step back.
This bioluminescent fungi that's quite close to it, when that light dims from it, that kind of whining sound that's in the fungus ceases.
So it responds to as light gets close to it. Okay, I'm just going to turn around to Buckley and just sort of go.
I activate the dimmer switch on my handle, and I dim it down to the lowest that I can, which is
Turning it
I
off.
forgot that your sword had a
That's
fucking
the
dimmer
lowest you can.
switch.
And then I also take my bow that's out in front of me and change it to a sword, and I do this.
okay. Yeah, I turn it off and put it away.
Okay, so most of you guys are going to be either leading by following the stone, or you guys are going to literally hold hands through this. with Delmara and Alistair's dark vision, making sure you guys don't trip up. Or
Make sure you hold hands.
Also, I should make.
So, in general, Shimmer, do you, because you're seeing them all marching for light, do you turn off the light on Grunt?
Yeah, sure.
Just turns around and blows in his forehead.
So, we're going to keep them up for the sake of ease, but
Yeah.
we're essentially treating it as you've dimmed the lights,
put a hat
and
on.
with your group stealth check as high as it is, there's a moment where you freeze as you go under it, and it begins whining. This is that kind of a... But that's, as you look up, the luminescent light has kind of rekindled. It's almost like a wave in the way of like it comes in bright and then it fades out. It comes in bright and then it fades out from the fungus. So it causes this this pocket of them to let out this whining sound, but it's not particularly loud. But when you're underneath it, it's a little painful on the ears. So you guys managed to make your way through without causing anything to be alerted as you move through.
We all have a purpose.
So you guys move up and follow the path. I think you move up this way. Yeah.
Keep moving forward. I just want to make sure that
Okay.
I'm at the turn.
Just move your damn tokens yourselves, because I'm doing other stuff as well, please.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I'll say Spook, you can just go to whatever corner you're at.
And everyone just rallying behind.
Oh god.
Okay. So what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 17.
Okay.
Steam, fuck off.
Why does it always do that?
It's right next to my Discord button.
17, you said, yeah?
17, yes.
You begin hearing up and around the corner in the darkness, you begin hearing... And what you can notice just here at this corner, because there's a bypass that's going up from here. You notice at this corner that there is the remains of what looks like some form of dwarven body here. What it was originally, you can't tell, Duragar or otherwise, and one of its legs is currently missing, and whatever skin it did have on its face is being ripped off. You can see like portions of flesh where it looked like it was just yanked and torn. And you can already begin seeing that the fungus of the Underdark is kind of like reclaiming. And you begin hearing, you're still hearing like, and then you're focusing, and you begin hearing multiple sounds of something chewing or eating ahead to the left.
So there's something sort of around here. Okay.
Yep, say a little bit further.
Well, yeah. a little
Basically-
further, but down that
Basically that direction.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put my hand behind me and take Buckley's hand off my cloak and just push my hand up against his nose. And because I'm invisible in the darkness now, I'm going to sneak forward to just about here-ish.
Make a stealth check.
Solo stealth check.
Just the mental image of you just in the hallway, just going shh.
And Buckley just seeing nothing and then just having me disappear. And I just want to check something on my. Where is it?
You will also still have your plus 10.
If you're travelling alone, you can move stealthy at a normal pace. Okay, that makes no difference to me. Well, I thought it might be something else.
Just worth checking.
Yep. Stealth. Getting an ever so slight lag on my.
And you have a plus 10.
Yep, that's still going.
That's important.
Oh, that's not good when he says that.
Could use the spell. Just to be fair though, I rolled in 4. So
To be
stealth's
fair.
decent. It's just
You begin looking, and you can see this with perfect clarity. But you see these gnarled, hunched over humanoids, probably about 6 foot tall, maybe a bit shorter, but these bald heads with just these scraggly bits of hair down the sides, and almost elvenly pointed ears. But as they're looking around and as they're gnawing and chewing, there's no eyes in the eye sockets. It's not like there's eyes like us, where it's a missing eyes in the socket itself. It's like the socket itself is just peeled over, like healed over, that there's nothing there at all. They have barely any like kind of scruffy furred rags covering their unmentionables, and they're holding like these clubby spiked bones, really, where multiple pieces of bone have been gnarled and twisted together, and they're just devouring remnants of that Duragarth that you can see there. Oh, I'm going to hang on to that voice because that audio is going to sound like something else later.
begin hearing a noise. Yep, we can hear it.
Really unnecessary sound effects, Sadie. So what you're saying is they look a bit like the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, just like a smooth face.
Mm.
Oh, them.
Yeah, they really have much covering their unmeasurables. Good.
Cool.
I think I'd rather see the dick than the faces, if I'm honest.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
You haven't seen shit, so shut the fuck up.
I really don't want to see them shit.
Nope. Let's not continue this line of conversation.
This one in the corner just walks over to the over to the corner here and just.
Okay,
Don't say it.
Brucey, I'm gonna look behind door number 2. Let's stay on the right path.
Oh my god, half the people here won't understand that reference.
Yeah.
So you look down this path here, and what you find is
Oh, that one looks much more appealing.
you see another like fungal mushroom atop a ridge. It's kind of like it's not even up on the ceiling where the previous one is. This one's on the side of the actual wall itself. And the 5 foot space is like more or less encumbered by it to like 4 feet, really, is all that you have of it. So it's a very tight squeeze to get past it.
I have an idea. But I don't know how good the idea is. Just check through some of my stuff. Is there anything? Okay, let's try something. I'm going to go back to the party first of all. I'm going to return back to them so that they are with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back
Okay.
to you. So I'm going to put Buckley's hand back on my cape. I'm going to get.
Buckley, a
everyone to
shadow
sort of
grabs your
gather.
hand, just puts it on their shoulder.
I whisper before I reach him rather than just grabbing him from the darkness.
But in fear.
Jenga.
One fear.
I'm going
My
to gather
dear.
everyone close. I'm going to say, okay, so left path, there appears to be some either undead or blind creatures down here that are feasting on something or some things. But down the right path, it seems to continue on, and there's more of these plant things, but the gap does get pretty tight. Now I have an idea. What I'm going to do is either use a silence spell, or I'm going to grab it in the bag of holding and pull it off the wall.
That's risky.
Yeah. Thing is, though, is that I don't really want to go into the room with all the eaty things, because we're going to need to light that place up pretty well for everyone to be able to see.
Yeah, no, the room full of horrible stuff sounds, well, horrible.
I believe these things are blind,
Okay.
but I don't know whether that's from choice or whether that's advanced vision blindness.
Well, if they're blind, they've probably evolved other senses, generally sound. So if the plan to get past this fungal thing fails, it seems to emit. I don't like it when the DM's rolling dice.
The thing is, it's a 50, so you don't know.
So bang in the middle. If the last one seemed to be make a slight sound as we went past it. So if you interact with this thing and fail, all these creatures may hear the sound that this weird fungal thing makes. I mean,
That's why Grunt's going to be at the back of the party and I'm going to be at the front.
okay.
As you guys are discussing, you begin, Alistair more than anyone else, then Shimmer as well, just because Alistair's proximity. You begin hearing this arcane hum.
I don't
Alistair,
trust like that.
You move back up to the corner and look, Alistair, and you can see what looked like just stones before. There's these 3 circles at the very center of the room. And when this arcane hum is made, you watch as all the creatures just begin circling around it in hesitation and like almost waiting for something. And after a moment's casting, you see an individual. Their face is bagged, and they're chained up, like wrapped up in chains profusely. Drop into that space, and they begin mumbling and screaming in confusion, and everything begins piling in.
I shout Jenga and unleash Armageddon.
We didn't agree on a safety word!
Okay, roll for initiative.
At no point in Blood and Sand have we canonically discussed the word Jenga.
No point in the campaign have we ever discussed what to do in a looper type situation, but we're dealing with it, so we're just gonna go.
Let's see,
Initiative
what would
already
be
has advantage for me.
Yep.
Should already be pre-programmed in with that.
Roll 20 is looking tonight.
It is, because I'm pretty sure
I
did
mean-
it for you. There we go.
This wouldn't have been my option, but let's go with it.
Okay, real quick. I kind of didn't expect you, but I have a token ready just in case.
This to me looks like an execution.
It certainly does.
Well, you're not wrong by your presumption. Okay, so I'm gonna have them all go on the same initiative.
It's
Just 'cause
my
it's-
boy!
It's not your boy. It is
Jesus Christ, Nemo!
Oh, wow! What is that number? How is...
What is?
How is...
It's because he has advantage. So he rolled a 1 and a 12.
The thing is,
Right.
I have to look through the monster tags I have. Like, where the fuck did I put them?
Roll 20, man. 1d20, 1d20.
It's weird how even if you have advantage, it still marks it in red.
Mm.
You'd think it would just ignore the fact that the 1 was in there because it's not disadvantage. But hey, Grunts.
No, it already calculated
that
advantage.
on
Mine
point.
doesn't.
Yeah,
When
it
he rolls a
does.
1, he gets a 15 on initiative. It's just like buzzing
Yeah,
on
that-
monster.
If you screenshot that and posted it online, people would be really confused. Like, how is it red?
Yeah.
The modifier's 3.
It was a big 12.
Okay, let's sort everyone out. Alistair, you just shout and begin firing. So you actually get to go first, and then everything else will go as a normal initiative. So you just get to go.
Okay, but I have to actually think now what I'm gonna do.
Good plan.
I presume you're about to shoot some.
I mean, shooting stuff is definitely a good plan. But is there something better? Is there a better alternative? Do I have a spell that'll solve my problems?
Try
I
not to
don't
use all
have
your
any
spells
idea
at the
why it
start.
rolled advantage on my initiative of all things. I'm worried it
Because
doesn't
you have, so long as you rage, when you roll initiative, you get advantage on it.
Yeah, no,
it
but
means
how
you
does
can't be
it know that I've raged?
Probably been programmed in for you by somebody.
Right, Alistair. I presume you're either going to run in or shoot something when you shout it.
Yeah, I suppose if they then start to make a move, okay.
Yeah, they all just literally begin like strafing straight in to attempt to maul him.
I'm actually going to try something then.
Okay.
Attacks of opportunity. They have to be able to see me. They can't see me.
When things are invisible, you can still make an attack of opportunity on them, but with disadvantage.
But I'm sure the
So
way
that
an
rule
opportunity
applies.
attack is it has to be able to see you to make an opportunity attack. How does that work with blind sense?
They have
Well,
other
blind
sights.
sense
Yeah.
is essentially a type of vision. You can still you can sense that they're there. So yes, you
Yeah.
can make an attack of opportunity.
No, they can't. I'm gonna cast silence.
Ah, clever boy! Clever
Told you I'm
boy.
the smart boy.
Blind sense only functions if you can hear.
Exactly. Can't use senses if you've got no other senses. I'm gonna cast silence where the guy is, and I'm gonna do a run in and out.
Okay, that is an action to cast.
Action to cast. So it's gonna.
Basically, you're not taking your initiative at 18, you're taking your initiative now. Just to emphasize that. So, you're casting silence, and you're running in. That's your action and your movement.
To get to there is 25 feet from where I was.
Yeah.
Why are they an R?
Because they're ready.
Because they are.
Because they're about to blast off.
The speed of light.
They're blasting off again.
And that is going to be. Well, seeing as how they would know roughly where he was, I'm gonna grab him and sort of pull him into my space, if you know what I mean. Sort of pull him away from
Okay.
where he was, or she. I don't know. this.
The
bag-
individual
thing.
currently about to be mauled.
Who was it that got bagged? Trotimus.
Trotimus.
I'm gonna grab Trotimus and I'll pull him close.
We've gone bagging everyone.
Okay, so you're going to try and grab him and grab this individual and
Yeah.
move them
And just pull them towards me. Pull it
like that?
Yeah, just sort of grab and pull back
Okay.
one.
I'm astounded
So,
you've made like a 4-year-old
These
reference.
three are going to make attacks of opportunity. Because they can. However, this is going to be a disadvantage because they are the kind of creature they are and the fact that they are blinded.
Okay.
It's worth a try.
So these are all made at a disadvantage.
Accidentally.
That's a miss.
Pass without
That's a hit. And that's a natural 1. So it takes, from that one attack, it takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage. You just watch it just cracks into the back, and you hear a bone just snap in the creature's shoulder. They like in this bag, they just muffle up. Doesn't seem like they're a very hardy individual. Damara.
Cool. I'm around the
Hear nothing.
Yeah, I'm around the corner, so I don't see anything.
Actually,
And
no one hears anything.
Yeah, you just said, "Let's go, guys," and then total silence, and we've all just gone.
It's the perfect Alistair Dartwood plan. Lots of noise, then no noise.
You heard him running in as you heard mumbled monsters going "Meow," and something gagged and muffled screaming, and then you heard nothing.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna squeeze past everyone.
You're Damara. It
I know it's
doesn't
not
cost any additional movement.
I use my bonus
I
action.
mean-
I use my bonus action to dash so that I am here-ish, at which point I can see what the fuck is happening.
And you see what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, and I will use my action to fling a dagger at that guy there.
Okay.
The real question
Throw it out.
is, does anybody have a light source?
Those two don't,
It's
but
weird
they
to
have dark
people who don't
vision.
need one.
Yeah, when it comes to your turn, you're probably gonna have to sort your own lights out. I'm afraid. Where's that candle? Not.
I mean, I've still got light on me, don't I?
Nope.
Roll your sneak attack damage. It has no idea you're.
Not
Sweet.
currently. Shimmer's got a recast, I think.
You just watch as like one figure is trying to like raise up a club because while it's like directly next to it heals the bagged individual bump off of them and it just raises a club and as it does a knife goes through its temple.
And then
It just
knife
clumps.
back to me, and I will take one step back because I have 5 feet of movement left from my dash.
Alistair, what I was saying earlier, you used your turn at the start of the combat,
Yeah, surprise round.
It's a surprise round.
so you don't really get this turn, so it now goes to Grunt.
Oh,
Because you basically, rather than getting a free turn, you just get to go your turn regardless of the initiative at the beginning.
Okay.
So even if you rolled a 1, if you're all ambushing someone, you all still get to like go and do your things first, and then the bad guys get to go, and then it just goes to normal.
Okay.
So, Grunt.
So, I can't see shit, and there's a massive dragon in my way, so...
Pick up the dragon.
Hold on.
I could hear the finger being pointed with that statement. Hold on.
Grunt is calling somebody massive. Grunt's
Well-
like 3 times the size of everybody combined.
It's true, but you are big enough that you would actually block this passageway.
Yeah,
If
like-
both
Yeah.
of us couldn't fit through this passageway. Dell might be able to sneak around you. I certainly can.
Your big toe blocks this passageway.
I know.
So, are you two going to continue this argument, or are you going to take your turns? Because you're right next to each other, so I imagine you're having a domestic right now.
Mum, Dad, please stop fighting.
She was probably second heaviest in the
I
group.
just-
Buckley's just standing there.
I'm just gonna go up to him
What is
and
my
just
life?
sort of
Who's taller, Buckley or Shimmer?
give him a hug, I suppose. He's just there, and I'm
just
feeling
kinda-
around, and there's
You
just
can't-
rock and he.
The thing is, anybody else could probably get around each other when you're using your same 5 feet if you're allied, but you've got a shield that's literally the size of a person that you're trying to bring through as well.
Yeah,
Pushing with you.
I'll have a hard time getting past most people, but yeah, he's way too big.
You could pick him up and continue moving.
I
You
don't-
could definitely lift him in one arm.
Ah, fuck it, just dig a tunnel.
Punch! yeah, just punch a tunnel through here.
Okay.
I
mean,
joke,
that's
but if
probably
she
not
actually
a bad
got all
idea.
her like abilities for the hammer set, she might be able to do it.
Can
I
I?
mean-
We're
Just-
going, we don't need doors.
It would be a good opportunity. I don't know if we can do this, but to delay your action till I
Yeah, 'cause I
go.
can't delay movement is part of the
You
problem.
can't delay movement, no.
Well, you can delay your action, so if you make your action the dash action, you technically could, but you can't do anything else.
Yeah, it would literally just be, I'm delaying this to run.
My point being is that you can't see, and neither can I.
No. Yeah, I suppose I'll hold my action to potentially dash. We can also sort of think of this as me just sort of putting my hand on his shoulder, so if he moves, I move with him.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Sort of
Oh, by the
like-
way,
like
Buckley
grapple?
still has a light source to emphasize as well.
Oh, okay, so we can see then. Yeah,
you
never
guys
mind.
can see.
Alright.
Buckley has.
I have like turned it off.
I presumed it was turned back on once you guys made past the shroom. The shroom of doom.
Actually, I probably would have been.
Is it on? Okay.
Shrooms.
Right, so
In
you
which
guys
case,
are going to move
if I
together
can
on
see-
your turn.
Yeah, if I could see him there, I could potentially just pick you up and carry
Also,
you
actually-
over to him.
That's why I was saying you could just pick him up and begin
Yeah,
walking.
it works.
Yeah, I pick Shimmer up, just sort of like under the arm, just gently like
Okay, so-
lift him and just.
You really don't have much space to do it under the arm, so you kind of just like grab him by the belt from behind, and like by the belt, like links on the pants, and just lift him up
I just step on her feet.
Yeah, he steps on
like a child. You just step on the feet, and it's like. Do, 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 do.
But yeah, I suppose can we get past Buckley? I don't know. There's much
No.
more room. There.
You are literally the 3 big boys, and you're all just stuck at the back.
Okay, I can use my movement to move us up 5 feet, and then I'll hold my action to move further. To do
You
the
hold your
dash
action to dash. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, yeah,
Also,
I won't be able to do anything else.
Since Grunt doesn't have an aura on her anymore, I'm just gonna turn that off so I can actually see where my aura is at. Okay, there we go.
Kill, kill,
Yeah.
kill, kill, kill.
Fair enough, Shimmer.
Yeah, so because I have it on minimum that I can, so it's 10, but technically on them. So it's 10 feet around me, just bright light, and then dim light, another 10 feet. So 20 altogether. So,
A
cool.
lizard just sort of shimmering along the wall or something.
Fuck.
Okay, so do you two try to like get past Grunt or Buckley on your turn, or you three? Alright, I'd say this because you three are like are on initiative with each other. You guys can move your 30 feet together.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll just move 30 feet up.
So you guys just like all in this conga line of muscle.
Conga, 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 conga.
You are fucking bricks. Buckley, you still have your action, but you just moved that far. Same for the rest of you. You have your actions, but you just moved together. It's the Drow's turn. The Drow's going to, with no idea what's going on and being silenced, attempt to break your control, like your grip on them, and just try to run or do something. Give you an idea, they're chained up so badly that it's difficult for them to move at all, so this is all at disadvantage, and they are freaking the fuck.
Wait, it's Drow?
Kill it.
I mean, I think technically we wouldn't know that because you said its face was covered, so...
Yeah, it's a about 5'6" individual.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a dwarf.
Don't know
But
why
yeah,
you're
no,
wide.
it's 6
Like I can see
versus
it here.
2. You just grab them, and they try to, and you can tell that they're just freaking the fuck out, but you... Buckley, you still have your action.
I can see it doing nothing.
I can see. This
Yeah,
area.
You can-
guys.
I see Dell.
Uh,
I wave at
You
Dell.
see 15. Do you have your set to 15 feet currently, or do you have your set to 30 feet?
No, I have it at minimum, which is 10
It's
feet of bright
15.
light around me, and
10 feet of dim, isn't it?
yeah, 10 feet of dim. Then, so
Okay, so,
literally, what
You
I
can just see like the back of Alistair struggling with something.
yeah, like literally, like
No,
my
it's-
aura
it's
is.
an
That's
action-
literally
it's an
all I.
action to expand it as well.
If I wanted to, I could expand it up to max, but I don't think that's really the best option.
How do I do the thing?
Do the thing!
So,
The thing with the measuring?
Oh,
That's the ruler.
Yeah, little ruler icon.
That's
little
a circle with
ruler
the-
under the magnifying glass.
Ah, thank you.
yeah, because if I was to extend it,
I forgot that I edited that picture. That's what the actual one's meant to be.
oh, actually, this aura in. I don't know if the auras are.
Give you an idea, you would only like go to at most you'd be seeing this much space. Like
Well,
you'd
yeah,
see
yeah.
that
I know
far
that.
with 30 feet, which is that max you could get with it. And you can't see further than that,
Oh,
so
10-foot
you'd be
radius.
literally throwing in the
So it's
dark.
actually shit. Okay. Well, no, I was trying to make sure because it's actually 10-foot radius, so it's
Not
actually
diameter.
a
Yeah,
20-foot
in the
circle.
handbook, everything's measured in radius, but in Roll20, auras are in diameter, so you need to double them, or that's the other way
Yeah.
around.
So
Yeah,
it's
double
actually
it. No,
20
you're right.
and 40. So. Okay, so that's that. I happened to think about that. I was like, wait, shit. Actually, in radius.
I can still see nothing!
Well, yeah. I still see nothing, but
It's
Okay.
less nothing.
Right, we know that he can see 30 feet.
I can see 30 feet, but that's
So you can
Into the
see
number.
this ugly bastard, you can see this ugly bastard, and you see like the silhouettes of others in the distance.
You can see the only thing that really matters. Me.
Aw.
doing unless I get closer, which I don't have any movement. Sure,
You have cantrips.
I do have cantrips actually. Yes. So I shall sacred flame. Actually, is that enough?
The go-to cleric spell.
Yep. So yeah, you said I can see that guy.
You see that guy and the other one next to the band, like the trapped figure and Alistair. So you can see them. What's your DC?
See.
Alistair, you're struggling, and that one next to you is trying to like raise up its club and trying to bite at you. And you just watch as this aura begins emanating above it. It looks up and it's just melted away. You just see the skin slough off. You can smell the fat. You can just see the meat burning and forcing away as it just crumples to
Nice.
a steaming pile.
Yeah.
Shimmer, you could also take your action. Going to love you, but there's fuck all you could do from there unless you wanted to dash past them.
I don't think I can fit. Can I fit past?
See,
No,
you
maybe.
have this small bit of space, so I would say you could get past both of them, but it would take 20 feet of movement to get.
I could only move 20.
I'm
that's
gonna
fair.
firebolt the sensor one.
Which one?
Of the 5, the sensor one?
That one?
Yes.
Firebolt it.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Pretty sure I can.
It might have
You can only-
it might have partial cover if you want to give.
I'd say yeah, partial cover, just because it's on the cusp of the darkness or the light. So I'd say you have partial cover
That's a
or
plus,
partial thing.
+2.
So it increases its AC. Yeah, it increases its AC. But fire away. Yeah.
Shimmer says like I care.
Shimmer just aims out into the dark, past this figure, fires out, and you guys just see the bolt disappear into the darkness here.
Well, we don't hear anything because it's silent.
Oh, you hear nothing.
We just
Maybe
see-
he hit something. Who knows?
I love silence. It's a brilliant spell.
Well,
Yeah, because it's just. Sorry, go ahead.
it's made of fire, so we've probably seen flashes of these guys. Not very well, but we've probably seen like figures in the darkness.
The impact that implies.
Okay, so this one can see its prey, as can this one, and they're really only interested on eating whatever just showed up. And the closest thing is this one
I thought they couldn't
can
see.
also. They have, when deafened, they have 10 feet of blind sight.
Oh.
When they aren't deafened, they have 30 feet.
The more you know.
So I was on the
so-
DM there quietly, like, where is Spook compared to the nearest fucker? Oh, he's just out of range. How about that?
Shit.
So it's kind of like a slight tremor, kind of.
So,
It's blind
Feel.
sight. It's different to tremor sense.
Well, yeah. But, I mean,
Blind sight, you can still send something within the radius of it. It was fine.
get that soon.
Anyway,
I
Right.
know.
this gets to there.
Did you say I could move up?
You could dash up, yes.
Can I use my action to dash? Because I don't know
You
what's
can
going on.
do
I just
so,
see people
yes.
attacking the darkness. And I would probably try to make intimidating noises, not that anything could hear me.
You go.
I have just lost the perfect opportunity.
Ah, yeah.
Denied. Sorry, you don't get to kill Alistair today.
No,
So
that's not the opportunity.
So now there's going to be one attack from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on him. These are all with disadvantage because, well, they're still blind and dumb as shit. That's an 11, so that hits. That hits. That hits. They're rolling very well. That misses. Yeah, you just watch as they're all just beginning clubbing on him, and he just goes limp in your.
Oh dear.
I tried.
It takes maybe like the fourth one for him to stop budging, and then the fifth one clocks him into the shoulder. You do not get to magic missile the darkness because that's literally not how that spell works. Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
my life with that shit.
Oh no, that's what he's saying.
That will literally go very poorly for you. Okay, that's their turn done. Delmara, you're up.
Cool. Right, so I'm gonna come around here.
Now, I'm blocking the way.
Yeah,
But she can get past you much
I
easier.
can basically squeeze
She can
between
get
your
past.
legs. I'm gonna come up to here and I will attack the one that is next to Alistair.
Okay, go ahead. Roll your sneak attack as well. if you
Yeah,
want.
I have. It's just roll 20's lagging tonight.
That one is dead as a dodo.
Splat.
I was just like trying to focus and you just like sink into this ribs and this kind of slowly coagulating purple ooze just comes out of their sides as you do, but you just drive the knife in and you just hit where ribs and kidneys should be and you pull out and it just grabs at itself screaming or just inaudibly screaming. It's just like, is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Alistair.
Okay, I'm gonna swap positions with the guy that I was holding.
Okay, you're holding him, so that's easy enough for you to do. You use your movement to swap it.
And then from there, I'm going to go for sword and shield mode and 2 attacks. So I'm going to hit the one above me and to the left of me.
Don't you have a thing as well? Whenever you hit something, you hit the thing next to it too.
No, that was long gone. That was swapped for
Okay.
Colossus Slayer.
Alistair just goes, here, hold this.
Hold this bag. It has precious things inside it. So
Right.
single-handed.
Yeah, now Shimmer and Buckley, you see Alistair disappear into shadow, and he just hands Delmara a body. It's still alive. Very, 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 very hurt.
Oh, that's good. I thought it had died.
Yeah, he went unconscious.
So there's the first one.
Yeah, it's oh no, I was talking about the thing you were hitting.
Oh, the thing I'm hitting is still alive. Okay.
Yeah, still alive.
Okay, no. It takes ages to come.
Still alive.
I really wish I did more damage.
Literally needed to do 1 more damage. They have 11 health.
Should have done an offhand attack.
Now I'm gonna do.
Punch it with your shield.
I don't have an offhand.
No, I meant myself. I should have used my offhand attack.
I'm gonna swing for the one at my left anyway because it has more health,
Okay.
and I know we have AOE in the party. So. Still did shit.
Still up.
Because I rolled a 2 on that
It's
one.
still alive.
You have positively maimed it. The one on like the front of you, you have just straight up gutted. Its guts are pouring out, and then the one to the side that's trying to raise up its club at you, you just strike up and you just cut the entire arm. You bisect it at the bicep. It slumps to the ground.
Okay, and I'm going to. I've got nothing that I can do with my bonus action, so I'm just going to hold still there.
Okay, grunt.
Are these things monstrosities, by the way?
I will let you know.
That could be important.
Because they will take an additional
Nope,
2 damage.
humanoids.
Damn it.
Balls!
They are as far flung from humanoids as they can be, but they are still human.
That's fair. Because that would have been awesome.
Can someone
If it
set
was
me
just
on fire or something so I can see?
Don't
No.
set me on fire.
You've already had enough of that.
Wow, could you sound more like a parent?
Grunt, to let you know, you can see. Ooh, I'm getting heartburn. You can see this one, and you can see here. You can basically see this lad, and just the like bare bones of where Alistair is.
Okay.
Kind of just like holding to Buckley,
I
like
raged at
there's
the
your
start
light.
of last turn. Is it the end
Yeah,
of this?
if
turn?
you end this turn without doing anything, it drops.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to move here because I can probably get past Dell easy enough, or at least she can hug.
She
a
can
wall.
literally just do like the slide, like step to the side thing.
I am between.
You are
It's the bit side.
okay, Grunt.
Start clearing some names for me, please. I'm a little crowded.
Stomp over the bodies and just.
These things have names.
They might have at one point.
Not anymore.
Now they have numbers.
And
That's upsetting.
I'm going to hook a returning this thing next to. Well, just smack it in the face, not.
Yeah, I know. You're just gonna use the hook
I'm hitting it.
to return it to the earth. That is exactly what you needed, and their AC is not that high, so you just you roll one above their AC, you roll their HP, shrink. You just with the hook, you just like literally like this is wheat. You just slice off the head,
Nice.
and it just like slumps to the ground.
Oh, that's,
And that's the only one I can see, right?
You can see this very, very, very injured one right here.
Oop, I'm behind a guy.
Don't worry, I'll fix that.
Why are you so shit?
Damage rolls are just crap.
Yeah, your damage rolls were just bad.
I literally rolled a 1 and 2 2s. Sorry, 3, because of the sneak attack.
Why are you so shit?
Fuck my
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Grunt just like stomps in, and like Grunt. Now you realize why there wasn't any noise. It's like, oh, he's done his quiet thing, and you just cut the one that's like in front of you in half. And as you like walk towards the next one, it's trying to like look around, trying to understand what's going on as it tries to pick up its guts. And you just punch it. You just punch it, and should you have had sound, you would have heard. Would have heard the sound that would accompany a jaw going from its normal position to going around to try and kiss the back of its neck as it slumps to the ground dead.
Grunt knows that sound. As it is her alarm clock.
Yeah, Grunt's thinking, it's like, I like how it's silent, but I don't like how I can barely see
You feel the vibrations of breaking bones.
No, you don't, because
No.
thunder doesn't actually work either in this, so vibrations don't work.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder damage cannot be caused within it, so vibrations do not work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because
Sure.
sound technically
I could-
is vibration.
I could go into the semantics of how D&D magic works, and that silence is to do with how magic interfaces with the weave. So technically, if you get a ruler and go twang, it is gonna vibrate. It's just not gonna make noise. But
Well,
whatever.
it will move,
Magic.
but its
It will
silence
move.
is basically affected.
No
it's
sound
affected
can be
back-
created within it, and every
Thunder is
creature within
sound.
it is immune to thunder damage.
Yes.
But basically, there's a vacuum.
Yeah,
There's
it's
It's
basically-
not
only
anti-magic
applies to
though, which would
Best
mean that it's
spell.
just nulling out the magic. But anyway, these are semantics.
It's
Shimmer,
it's semantics.
I love this spell.
Yes.
Amazing.
what are you at? Ugh,
I would like to move
I
myself.
caught the fly and he went into 4 parts of my hand.
Ugh. Cool, because Shimmer's about to do that with these 4 guys.
So, can I see these guys?
I predict a thumb wall.
You can wait. You can save your spell for when he gets close enough for you to see them. But give you an idea, no, you cannot. So, for the sake of ease, Buckley moves forward. Shimmer, what do you want to do?
Well, I was just gonna cast light then.
Oh, by the way, because it's your guys' initiative right there, and it's like going to be the 3 of you with the individual, I'm going to roll it.
Hold on, what?
A death save.
Oh,
Okay, it's got 1 up. It's got 2 down, but it's got 1 up.
Okay.
see, it was worth the spells. Might have saved a man's life. Or her.
Them.
That's chaotic good talk.
I just like cast light in the middle of the room and my turn.
That's what I mean. I'm chaotic neutral.
You cast light, and now you guys can just see everything.
I was invisible. I'm not now.
Buckley, it's now your turn.
Right. I'll cast a bonus action, healing word, on the
Bag.
bagged creature thing.
Okay.
on the
the
Trotimus,
amazing bag
yes.
I'm the Trotimus.
For 1 health.
Oh god.
It's brilliant.
And then, my action, I will cast Sacred Flame on that thing.
Natural 1. Goodbye.
Don't mean to be pedantic. I
Yep.
don't think you burnt that bonus action spell slot.
Ah.
Oh,
Healing
shit.
word implies the target has to hear it.
Healing word is, yeah, it's a target that can hear you, is the wording of the spell.
Works both ways, I'm afraid. So do you want to rethink that? Because you would know how silence works. We've been together.
You would
long.
know that.
Yes.
Well, it just wouldn't work because you wouldn't be able to cast it because you can't speak.
Okay, so the silence is centered around you guys as well, so that's fine.
Where did you-
And-
where
Ah,
did
fuck it. He doesn't
Cast
get healed
it
then.
right on the guy where he was, so it's probably like where this guy is now. I think probably around there.
How wide
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
it's between it's like
Yeah,
20 feet,
20
so like
feet radius.
Ah, so...
so Buckley is still on the outside of it.
But he isn't.
Yeah, so...
So
Yeah,
he can
the
say
guy
he
is-
couldn't hear it. So
Yeah, so he has to get to there in order to be healed.
oh, somebody dropped. Oh, he took narrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't want
Wait,
to drop
what?
the silence because I know what those plant things are. They're shriekers.
They're shriekers.
I can't.
Anyway, Buckley, that's your thing. And your bonus action, you can't really do anything with it. Is actually
Well, I'm
got so far.
But in the end, I fell off a mountain.
I'm just going to. I can't dim the light.
Die.
No, I can't dim the light anymore. Shit. I do nothing. Yeah.
I wait.
Okay. That's your turn. It is now the last two living things, which have no idea what's going on, so they're going to swing at whatever's closest to them, which is Alistair. These are at disadvantage. That's a 21 and a 21 on the first attack.
Oh, good. They miss.
And that's a 10 and a 13.
I'm glad I went sword and board.
Yep. Bonk, 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 bonk.
It must be
Does
nice.
that
It
count?
must be nice.
To have the DM's favor.
To have fucking armor.
To have Nosdo shield.
Right, Delmar, it's your turn.
Armor is highly overrated.
I've been handed a body and I don't know what to do with it.
It's currently like trying to jostle, but it's more like you're not sure if it's spasming or not.
Yeah.
I turn to Shimmer and attempt to say hold this, but nothing.
You passed the body. You passed the bag.
Pass the parcel back.
I'm a rogue. I specialize in making people dead, not making people live.
And you hand it to the freaking sorcerer whose specialty is burning people to death.
Well, I just say
Well, it's-
deal
you're
with. I
slowly
say deal
passing
with
it
it,
down
but
the
you
line.
don't hear me say deal with it because we're in the silence. So I just pass the body to you and just sort of
If he
shrug.
did, his probably first reaction would be to cremate it.
I just pass the body
Pretty
to
much.
you and go shrug, point at Buckley, and then pull out a knife and chuck it at one. Which one of these hasn't been hit yet?
That would
Top
be
left.
either of these two lads have not been hit yet. You hit this one, and
Top or bottom?
you hit this one, Spook. So these ones haven't been hit.
Can't see what
You
you're
can't see
pointing
what
at.
you're pointing
Oh, sorry, I am on the
Hey.
GM thingy. 'Cause I've been
He
imagining
can't hear
things.
that.
1, 2. You've been hitting these guys.
No.
Alright, sorry. This one you've hit. This one you've hit. These ones you haven't.
Okay, I will throw one at the one that hasn't been hit.
I hit the one directly to the left of me. 'Cause I
Oh,
was-
sorry, you hit that one instead. That's
So it's top and bottom one.
I throw a dagger at the one that has not been hit.
I love
Oh,
the idea
you do
that
so. Roll to
Alistair
hit.
passes to Del. She sort of holds the body like, what am I going to do with this? And then she turns to Shimmer to pass it to him, and he doesn't stretch his arms out at all, just keeps looking at her, and she's just like... She sort of has to slump it up against the wall, just be like, deal with this, please. He's like, oh.
She like tries to hand it to him, which is hard for her considering her strength value, and just takes out a knife and just flings it over her back. And if it was audio, you heard, but there is no.
Alistair just hands it to the body, hands the body to Delmar, and he turns around, and what he doesn't see is Delmar just go, fuck, shit, this is a mistake!
Okay, so I've been
Wasted.
around Grunt long enough to know a little bit of sign language. I sign not cleric.
Do I have my bonus action left, or would
Yes.
passing... Okay, I will throw another dagger at one that's the one that looks the most hurt.
Which would be this fellow.
I think you just have to hit him and he's dead.
That's why I'm doing it.
Basically.
Yeah.
Does the 26 hit?
No, this is the Grimlock Chieftain with
Damn it!
+3 plate armor and a magical shield. He casts shield as his reaction. He's an Eldritch Knight.
Damn it! And that's my turn.
Alistair, there's one guy left. Kick the shit out of him.
Sweet. Not advantage anymore.
Alistair, you're like looking between these three targets. You see a knife sink into one and it collapses over. And after a second's delay, another knife sinks into one next to it and it collapses over. And both of them just away. Still up.
Why are you so shit?
Oh, your next attack, for fuck's sake. Okay,
wait.
now it's dead.
Don't get sneak attack because
Oh yeah, there's nothing to qualify you for sneak attack.
You watch, I'll miss with this one now. Just now. Right, okay. Oh, that one. Yeah, that one's. Oh.
You make sure you kill it with your second hit, and you just hack into it like fucking deep.
Job
So
done.
you mulch them all. Okay, Shimmer like dissipates, and that's the end of the combat.
I move to the bagged body and I put my hand over his mouth before I drop the silence. To
He's
sort of-
still unconscious.
He's not going to be inconvenienced then.
Okay, you drop the silence, and you can all immediately hear once the silence is dropped why Buckley's face is like.
We all just give the look to Bucky of just like. Just the slow turn as he's trying to nonchalantly just be like, who could have disturbed them? Something must have made a noise.
Also, saying in terms of light, that's the maximum of the light.
No, that's not the maximum of the light. That's the maximum of the light.
No, in the terms of what I have this set.
You can only set it to 30 or 15, can't you?
It has a minimum of 10 feet that I can set the light to.
Yeah.
That's what it's at right now.
Ah.
10 feet.
Yeah.
10 feet right there.
The maximum would be
10
30,
feet.
so you have to type in 60 because it's the diameter. So
Yeah.
it can go pretty
See,
wide.
we were measuring. So here's the thing: we were measuring that you had like 30 feet worth of light in reality in here.
Yeah,
so
no,
by
that's
that
what- that's
proxy,
what I
you
was
are
saying,
producing
like-
it everywhere.
My light is basically the.
What? That's why we have the auras. The auras are the light.
Yeah. That's the maximum light
Okay.
right now.
Which you don't have it on. You have it here.
That's what the surface.
Max that my light be at minimum is 30 feet bright light, and then it has another 30 feet dim light. So
Okay,
technically
so
that's-
you're not currently hearing a high-pitched whining, which is
Okay.
being echoed by several other
Thank
high-pitched
God.
whines throughout the entire dungeon.
Oh, you didn't make a sound. It was based on.
So
Light.
that's
I didn't know.
Well, that's why we
I
were
wanted to clear that
confused
up.
because we were like, the ring isn't
No, I
close
thought, I
enough.
thought he made a noise when he was outside and he was like, healing word! Whee! What's that noise?
Alright, I'm back.
No, it's the way he moved. Had he been with that, it would have produced light that would have gone around the corner to 30.
You're fine then. Okay, so Sam, I've
Yeah.
got I got my hand over his mouth.
Drop your silence.
Drop the silence.
Shimmer, nothing's happened. You're fine.
Sweet.
Shut up, demons!
She just keeps doing it. Nothing we can do can stop her.
She's a wow.
We barely hear her, so it's fine.
quietly. I shall do a healing word. Get up! Wake the fuck up!
Okay, roll to heal.
I roll one again. That's gonna be great.
You're just so half-assed, just been like, we don't know this guy.
When you think about it,
Baby steps.
it's double the effort you did last time.
I mean, not dead.
Yes, praise me.
I am too good for this world.
Okay, so you do healing word, and the figure comes to consciousness and begins like just trying to struggle in the place, panicking. And there is a muffled. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I feel like that was pretty persuasive.
This individual has just been teleported to a place they don't know and mauled while blindfolded and being pulled around. Currently, they are waking up with something covering their mouth.
Could be worse. That's terrible.
Bear in mind, you have not taken off the hood yet.
No.
And the chains that are around them are these heavy iron rock chains.
Okay,
And
does he in any
you
way
just go
calm down?
shh, 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 shh. You just do that to them. And after a moment of like, there's a second that passes and where like the figure, you can tell they're still hyperventilating, but they're not being mauled. So that's a start.
Bonus. What to say to him? You may have just been saved from a rather grisly fate, my friend.
What language do you say that in?
I would have no indication that he was Elvish in one sense or
Nope.
other, so I
Nope.
would just go with common because default.
You hear muffled sounds that you cannot really understand.
Okay, I'll take the bag off his head. What do I
Okay.
see?
You see a young drow with his left ear has actually been cut down to almost the size of a human lobe of an ear. And they're currently gagged at the mouth. Like, there's actually a gag that's been wrapped around the entire side of it. And you can see these intrinsic designs on their face like carved into their face that are still very fresh and have these red marks that are kind of streaming down from the small amount of capillary blood that's coming from them. Their eyes are bloodshot. Can't really tell the gender. The hair is this very, very dark violet, like purple to black kind of look, and their eyes are these piercing orange.
Okay.
So your standard drow.
It's a drow.
Okay, I shall then switch to Elvish and say, salud, tel quesadilla.
Oh, gag.
Yeah, I wanted to say hello before I took the gag off. And just shh, 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 shh. And then take the gag off.
Looking around at the fact that they're probably very heavily outmatched, without a doubt, and the fact that they're still very heavily chained, looks around at all of you, and their head just like some slaps against the back of the stone for the moment of,
Rather fortunate we were passing through.
You could say that, yes.
What's your name?
Telenin.
While this conversation's going on, is he chained up?
He is chained up to fuck.
Like with literal chains. Okay, can I break
Not
them?
little. Well, little by everyone else's
No,
standards.
literal. Literal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard little as well. I thought, yeah, that's pretty adorable by grunts. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Jane.
Literal chain.
But yeah, can I
It
break
is
them?
in GM. It is in Volpetti. Telen.
It'd be funny if he was a whistleblower. He's called Talon.
I would like to try to break
I'm
them.
telling.
Can I roll for this DM?
You want to try to break the chains?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll to literally break the chains with your hands.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Grunt's got a button for that. Roll to literally.
I mean, yeah, she has. Strength save, i.e., break the thing button.
Well, it's not meant to be a save, but it is a natural 20.
Check, but same roll, sort of.
Yeah, it is a natural 20, so... You guys just watch as, like, this guy, he almost begins, like, to scream out again as this enormous Goliath just looms over and is like... And just grabs the chains and just snaps them. Like, literally, you just watch as the connecting... It's interlocked chains. You just watch as, like, down a line, you just hear... And just, like, 3 of them are snapped, and the chains go slack when she just, like, breaks them and loosens them off from the broken sections, and the entire thing eventually is then, like, lifted off of this person.
You can calm down there, Talon. If we were going to kill you, we'd have left you to the things.
I'll wrap the chains around one of my shoulders like a rope.
What do
We
you
might
do
need
later?
that later.
Ah, yes. More AC.
This size for me? No.
Yeah, I wouldn't
My
really
shoulder
say...
is not. I also kind of shouldn't everyone to move into the area. That way, I'm just not standing out in the hall. Just like,
So, you guys kick this body out of the way.
It's just,
You just, like, kick the bodies
yeah,
out of
just
the way.
shove them away for a bit.
Okay, I'm going to leave you guys to talk to him and see what you can find out about him. I'm just going to have a quick peek around the corner.
actually, is he actually talking in common or was he talking in Elvish?
He's talking in Elvish.
Yeah, I can't
He does-
understand Elvish.
He does not speak common.
Oh.
DM, can we... Yes, I'm aware. I'm asking DM... Stop it! What can we see here and here now that we're in this room?
Okay.
Whoa.
You see 2 looming off points. One goes this way,
Oh.
Let's see.
and one goes...
I'll also go check this apparent dead end to make sure there's nothing there. Is there anything in this little alcove?
This was the waste management position.
I
of
swiftly
the
stopped checking that area.
Ah, yes. Recollection of the last 27 seconds has come back to me. This way.
Right. Guess I come back then.
Buckley, you speak Elvish, don't you?
Nope.
No.
I thought that was one of the languages you chose.
Nope.
Who speaks Elvish here then?
Just you two.
Really?
You know, the elves.
Don't you remember when that annoying bard turned up and he tried to swindle us, so the pair of us were speaking in Elvish so that he couldn't understand us?
I could have sworn someone else said they knew Elvish.
Nope.
Honestly, I'd probably have more luck speaking to the things we just killed.
I can understand Elvish.
How do you understand it but not speak?
Comprehend languages. I look very unimpressed as I glare down at this drow fellow.
Okay, well, you talk to him because you're
Your
closely related.
overall intimidating demeanor is kind of clamming him upright.
I have a passive intimidation of 16.
Okay, you go and have a look around and I'll talk to him then.
At what point did you think letting the wood elf talk to the drow elf would be a good idea?
Well, you're more elf.
God, you're so dense.
Well, let's see. The full elf or the half breed are talking to the racially superior drow.
Quiet, you.
Right.
Headset off, you.
Oh, moved on. Hello! It's me.
I'm gonna go put this
Within the back of your mind, as you're looking down at this drow, you feel the reminiscent thoughts of Deldir, who was an elven hero at the time of the divergences between the elves. And there is a sincere malcontent in just thought. You don't get words, you don't get expression, you don't get commands, you just get the swelling in the back of your head, irritation from Deldir about the fact that there is a drow. And there is a definite dislike of them. So I'll move back down.
Okay.
Where the fuck's my channel? There it is.
Handle that.
So then, Damara, while she's fucked off to look around, Alistair, you talk to him.
So, why are you here? Who sent you? And why? I'm assuming you weren't sent here as a missionary.
I was sent here as an example.
Are we supposed to be hearing this?
It's Elvish, but I'm not going to...
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'd translate it anyway, just back and forth.
Mhm.
No, you don't have to.
In that patronising way of like, you know, in common, then just being like, okay, you were sent here as an example. Blah, 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 blah. So you don't like the people you worked for.
He was sent here by the matron. She, Her Eminence was not fond of my ideologies, and I was to be made an example of. I was told that I would be then dragged back, and my remnants would be strung up as an example.
He was sent here by someone called the matron. How are those corridors looking?
How are those corridors looking, DM?
How far do you go down any corridor?
Well, for the one over here, I'm just going to go up to the bend and see what I can see
Okay.
down there.
You see more bends.
Oh no, gays! They're everywhere!
I will go slightly further forward. Only slightly, only slightly.
She is literally liquid air right now.
I was moving as invisible and I was scared.
I have an escape route.
Us!
But I will stop there, and I will...
About
well,
here?
Yeah, I'll stop there.
Okay, you see another corridor bending down this way.
Okay. I will turn and come back, and start looking up this corridor, while they're having this conversation.
Okay, so I will just reveal things up until a point, and if you get into anything, I'll tell you to start.
Okay. I'll cautiously look around each corner before I step out.
Yeah, your passive stealth's high enough, but if you want to make an active stealth, go ahead.
Still, it's
You don't have passive without a trace anymore because
Nah.
it's concentration.
my question is the mixture of stealth and perception as I'm looking around
Mhm.
corners and things.
Just make a general perception and a general stealth check then.
Okay.
And while you do that, I didn't believe we should be engaging with the surface folk as much as we were.
I bet
Our
you're
dealings.
going back on that thought process now.
It was the dealings we were making were what I had a sincere gripe with. And as he lifts his hand to try and wipe a blotch of blood from his nose, you see that his ring finger and his index finger have been cut off down to the stumps.
Yeesh.
So he's given that.
He can basically that is all he can do with that hand.
So that claw.
Meh. So, I and others wanted to not interfere with the work of people on the surface, that it would draw the ire of people from the surface, and they would send others after us for our activity and our interference with them.
By any chance, was your interaction with the surface folk to do with slavery?
Make a persuasion check.
Well, at least if he goes back, he can say I was right.
So quick. Is that magic circle, arcane circle? Is that still there?
That is still there, yes. It is these very dull runes that now you can see has a lot of caked on blood and visceral around them, that only when the runes actually lit up did Alistair spot them.
Cool. I'm gonna point that out to Shimmer.
You guys, you do that.
Shimmer.
Shimmer!
Sparky, come over here.
I want to point out that perception check should be a 20 because reliable.
Thank you.
I want to point out that my persuasion check should be a 13 because I'm shit at it.
Because you ain't me.
Okay.
Okay, Dalmara, you continue down this bend and you don't see anything as you go, but with that perception check,
Mhm.
I've actually got to check rulers now to see where things are. If you make your way to, oops, sorry, I had it on the silent one. Make your way to anywhere here.
Mhm.
With your perception check, you're listening, and you can hear the mumbles of your friends in the distance, and you can just hear what only really sounds like stones falling, like small stones dropping, or stones being moved in the further on in the tunnel systems, probably anywhere between 60 to 100 feet away.
Cool.
You don't hear anything like bestial noises or otherwise. You just can tell there is something there just from your distance to it.
Cool. I shadow step back to the group.
Damar just appears from the shadows.
I freak out and stab her in the throat.
Bitch, I'd like to see you try.
Out of character, I banish her.
Bang!
Begone, bitch! Go to the land of dread.
I know that I've done that
Oh,
at
she won't
least
come back.
twice.
I'm gonna try to Arcana the magic circle.
Okay, make an Arcana check on the magic circle. Alistair, you have further yeah, you've made that check. He just looks towards all of you and make an insight check as he's clearly not wanting to talk, but simultaneously is fully aware of the fact he doesn't have much choice. Yeah, he's very much so proverbially shitting himself, and is very aware of the fact that he should be giving information, but is also very... Yeah, Buckley, you see right through it. He is scared.
Body language.
Oh yeah, it's all body language. What he's not saying is giving you more answers than what he would be saying.
Right.
And it is this thing of... It's like the kid is were you breaking the windows? And the kid's just...
No. It was broken when I got here. Can I have my ball back?
Only difference
Please?
is the ball in this scenario is slaves. Don't ask me who's been throwing them through windows.
Yeah, the matron apparently.
Apparently.
She can do what she wants. Yeah, he's kind of like curling up around his knees, like wrapping them up to himself, and is he's very fidgety as well. And Shimmer, with that 23, you can tell that there is some form of teleportation magic on this. However, it seems to be one way.
So the matron has been throwing them through dimension doors as opposed to windows.
It's more like she's just been opening a single. She's basically been throwing them down a one-way road.
Okay. Well,
Or just down a hill would be a better terminology.
it's taken us.
Well, I mean,
roughly- Go on.
the Underdark, wouldn't it be up a hill?
No, it just goes down. Even when you're going back up out of it, you're going down.
It's like being in Edinburgh.
Oh, God.
Okay, cool.
It's just more fucking hills.
God, why are there so many hills?
The great matron's bodyguard is just Trip Labs.
Alright, okay.
So it took us roughly around 2 hours to get down here from surface level.
About 2.5 hours from this point.
About two
to
and a
this
half
point,
hours. Okay. So we're going to be continuing further down into the Underdark. So if you want to make your time with us as sparse as possible, we're going to need more from you. Otherwise, feel free to go venturing off on your own. You know, we've done you a favour. We don't need you to come along with us, but you know, I've only heard stories of what's down here. You've lived down here, so it's your call. My name's Alistair Dartwood, Hunter Extraordinaire. I'm fairly well known on the surface. Maybe after this, I'll be fairly well known under. Hello, Dale. Welcome back. Did you find anything in the tunnels?
It's just the sound of rocks to that northern passage, but I didn't hear any sort of creature movement. It was almost like a cave-in or something, but I don't know how to describe it. I didn't want to go too far ahead because there's horrible shit down here.
Sound familiar, Talon?
I know there are creatures that can be as quiet to you wouldn't hear their footfalls. You'd only hear if they knocked about things like stones. And Delmari, you can get the idea of him by elven comparison. This guy's 15. He's a fucking kid.
We're like the same age.
Oh god, he's a fucking hipster. He has his own ideologies about the world, man. Can't tell me what to do, man. I'm a
Give you
fight
an idea,
the
Delmara?
system,
He might be
man.
60 years old.
Cool.
Since when did hipster translate to hippie?
That's where it came from.
Yeah, pretty
So-
much.
Hippies
So
were
he's about
hipsters in
Damara's
the
age.
70s.
No, Delmara's about.
He was
Delmar-
he was Delmara's age before all the shit happened to her, and that's all I need to say.
That doesn't narrow it down.
So about a
It
year or
does
two
for-
ago.
It does for the DM.
It does for the DM, yeah. But for all of you guys, you have no fucking idea, and I think I need to
It's
like
just
get a
elf,
sign that just
Looks
says,
like elf.
I think I
Okay.
need to just get a sign that just indicates you clearly don't know shit about Delmara, and just leave the sign and just keep bringing it back.
Like I've said before, I don't think even Delmara knows much about Delmara.
Clearly, she knows more than you. Anyway,
I know she burns.
Yeah, you're not the only one who knows that.
Shimmer's tick box. Ah, yes. Still.
Yeah,
flammable.
that's all I really need to know, to be honest.
Yes, I knew mother, remarkable woman, very flammable. Excuse me?
There's a lot of creatures that exist the exteriors of the city that serve as deterrents, and usually they're loud enough that whenever something happens or they begin to find something worthwhile, that it would alert others, that would then just start the chain of signaling to the city.
Are some of these things fungal in nature, perchance?
There are the Shriekers. They're
Produce spores, luminescent glowing pods.
they just don't like light at all. They're very agitated by it.
Photosensitive, I believe is the common word.
Gesundheit.
What's photosynthesis?
Okay, so where did you hear this this stone moving coming from? North. So our options are: we either continue past the fungal plants, in which case we need to go dark. We go towards the rumbling noises, which is God knows what, or we take the left path, which you didn't find anything.
Nothing of note. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I can't tell. But again, I didn't go too far because I didn't want to, because it could be dangerous.
Okay, well, let's take a vote. Do we take the unknown, the rumble, or the plant?
Well, if what this drow says is true, then the place where that plant is could possibly be going in the right direction, as it is almost a guard-like creature to warn people that things are there. Whether we want to avoid that, though, and try and find another route is up for debate.
Let's take a vote.
I've never been outside of the city.
So you have no idea roughly how far away we are from a city?
I do not know.
So,
Let's take a vote. Democracy can prevail at this point. Type your answers into the rolling chat. Do we take unknown, rumble, or plant? Dinan!
Grunt doesn't care. How's our
Grunt
investigation
abstains.
gone of the waste management area?
It's a lot of white.
Guano!
Mostly because they had a lot of calcium.
Ooh, yummy.
You don't know it was bones, it could have been yogurt.
Neanderthals.
Well, then
I
as soon as you go-
gotta look after them underdark cows.
Damn straight mushrooms.
oh, hey, they're getting collagen.
God damn it!
Oh, sure, it was a stupid idea at first. Put evidence with it, and all of a sudden it's funny.
But you idiot! You know that mushrooms produce soup.
Well, they
For
create
dinner.
mushrooms. Soup.
Let's take the unknown
It
route.
looks like
The
we're going
unknown
down the
has
unknown
one.
route.
So,
Okay.
are you coming with us, Talon, or have you got your own agenda that you'd like to pursue on your own? Sorry.
And you can just tell, like, he genuinely does not know what to do with himself right now.
I'll tell you what then. This is Grunt.
He tries to step 5 feet away from the large woman.
If anyone's likely to make it out of here alive, it's her. So if you stay with her, you'll be second most likely to make it out alive. That's good odds.
You can tell that he's very close to death anyway, already still.
I walk up to him. I grab his hand. Cast the Cure Wound.
Oh.
I mean, I'll be honest, that's not really true. Grunt's more likely to.
I'm using
Grunt's more
convincing
likely to pick a corner and just live here.
Is this where we're going good cop, bad cop? Because I can very easily be the bad cop if needed.
I thought Shimmer was going to say
Oh.
Grunt's the most likely to charge
Hey,
headlong
hey,
into danger and therefore be the closest one to death.
Grunt's not really underground, actually. They kind of like to live on top of mountains, not in them.
There you go.
Yeah, he is heel to whole. Like, absolutely heel to forward.
That's one, Buckley.
But Grunt is used to seeing a lot of scared people from the arena and whatnot, so she kneels down and offers out a piece of rash.
Ah.
You can
Actually,
tell
that's
that
Grunt's coming
he's
from
probably been hungry for quite a while, takes it and just...
This
Did
is
somebody
very,
say hungry?
This is very nice and all, but if you're intending to come with us, then just remember that we have saved your life, so you owe us.
Noted.
And if you do betray us, and I shadow step behind him, you won't live to regret it.
He looks for a moment of confusion as you then appear behind him and he just freezes.
I know the effect you were
I
going for,
gotta
Bell,
say, no,
but
that is some master stonework you got there. Because he is against the wall.
Make an intimidation check with advantage. Well, here's the thing. He was just getting food from Grunt, so...
Give me a second,
Yeah,
because
Roll20's being a
Roll20 is
bitch.
lagging to hell tonight.
It's a big-ass map.
18.
You can just see this, like, single droplet of sweat go down his brow. His drow brow.
Hey, Dal, one of my comics once told me a very fitting phrase. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a crumble. Don't hate me because I'm
Grunt
right.
Damn!
Don't hate me because
You
I'm...
have no right. You have no idea. It's not even close. Not even close.
I'm just saying, you
You-
hate him
I'm-
so much, you seem to be mimicking him a lot.
You have no idea.
What's a crumble?
Worse than her.
Oh dear God.
I walk away.
Meanwhile, us three are sitting there. It's like, what just happened? Because it's all been in Elvish.
Are we supposed to be exploring or what?
How loudly do you shout that?
Not very, because I'm only here.
Shit, now I'm actually gonna have to be very careful about my movements.
Clang, clang.
Not talking
Grunt's
to you.
going to. Grunt's going to gently stop.
I'm very glad someone said it, though. I'm just gonna say that.
Thank you.
No,
No,
That's-
it's been coming for a while, but I'm role playing, so
Yeah,
out
no.
of character, she 100% deserves that.
Oh yeah, he's been using this power.
Absolutely.
What was the last thing you just said to me?
Out
Was
of
it-
character, she 100% deserves that.
No, like in character. What was the last in character thing you said just before you walked off?
You have no idea.
No, you said not talking to you anymore. Now that's something that Crumble doesn't do, so you're learning already. Do you want me to take the lead? My golden eye sees further.
By all means. That way I'll know if you get shot first.
It's usually how these things
Yeah.
Bye, Shimmer.
Grunt offers this, gently stops the elf and offers him a water skin.
He drinks from it.
a lot.
You can probably tell that he's currently in Delmara territory, or he was starved for a while.
Oh god. Oh god, so it begins.
Like I said, this dude is Delmara before all the shit happened.
Yep.
She's also going to take a bit of that chain and probably break it when she figures it's the right size, and just gently wrap it around one of his hands, and then sort of suggest to him that this could be used as a weapon, so sort of mimic punching away from him, just saying like, look, you've got this thing, this will help.
That's
He
fair.
nods at you. I have a very small amount of magic I might be able to use as well, but
She looks
someone
at him,
say
not
thank you
understanding a word
to
he's
me
saying.
for her.
You got the guy who doesn't, the girl who doesn't speak, and the guy who only speaks Elvish, just sort of looking at each other, just being like,
But
He
she
gives
just
you like a
taps him on the
thumbs.
shoulder.
He gives you with the only thing he has on that hand that you've wrapped, the thumbs up.
Oh, I'm getting
Yep.
flashbacks to Kirok and Torin.
Adopt him, adopt him, adopt him.
Kirok
He-
started
he-
drawing pictures because he couldn't understand her.
She pats him on the shoulder and gives him a knowing nod, and then takes
When you do the
rear guard.
pat, it's still just like as gentle as you are. It's just the weight, and you see his shoulder just drop. This is
But yeah, she takes up the rear guard. It's like, it's okay, I've got your back.
So you guys begin moving this way, and this way leads you to a
And roll
different point of the
initiative.
map.
Done.
So
slowly.
you go through that way, and there's maybe 3 hours worth of as you're spiraling for a point. You make a break out of like the spiral to like a wide room, or like to a wide area where it seems like something may live but currently is not there. And
Gonna find out what.
Why do
and
we
you
think something like
try
that?
because it's a very large area, and you can see a pile of remains and bones in one corner.
Anything in the remains? Brun's not shy. She'll look through.
Oh, this was a person.
Mostly picked clean. Mostly. Alistair, make a nature check. Just like a
mostly?
general nature check.
Any of this look edible?
No.
By grunt standards?
No. Not even by grunt standards, what is left looks edible. It's the shitty, scrawny, sinewy bits. They're not even the good bits.
Hey!
On my mini-map, a picture of a freaking Rathian just appears. I've been moved, love.
Oh god, okay. I have too many windows.
Hello. Mr. Dotwood. So, you begin looking around and you can... Sorry, Shira's being a cutie. You begin trying to examine the room. You can see that there are large claw marks around this room, this area in general. You can see that there's what look like... You've encountered things similar before in regards to like the blasts of like spells or something similar that would spread over a stone and leave like that kind of scorched mark, even if it isn't fire, it like leaves that residue sort of thing, and it's just like this thick shadowy remnant to it, and you're not entirely sure what could cause it. And you look around and you can see tunnels that are maybe like 20 foot wide in the ceiling at different points. And you begin thinking, where have I seen this before? And you remember you saw something slightly weaker than it, like a less concentrated variant, in Old Fort Thun.
Let's go back a while.
The remains of obvious breath weapon attacks by a shadow dragon that is currently not in.
Wasn't expecting that.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
You sound confused or concerned or both.
Bit of both. The last time I saw marks like this was when we were in Old Fortune, dealing with the shadow dragon. You got obvious claw markings. You got residue left over from burns.
Burns.
Yeah, from like breath
Well, if you're certain,
exhaled.
are you certain? Can you tell if it's fire burns?
It's more like residue from magic that has been left on it, and it's the way that you can see like a breath weapon being used, or like a burning hands, or even an electric spell that spreads out once it makes contact with something. It's this. It's like the residue is lingering there, almost like napalm after the use of it. Like there's still like there's this tarish kind of substance there, and you can remember seeing some like weaker concentrations of it when you fought Slarlak. And you're also seeing now that he said that, you're looking around and you can see maybe 20-foot wide holes in the ground or in the ceiling.
Can I make
Somewhere in the ground.
Can I make an intelligence check based off the things that Alistair is pointing out to me to see whether I can work out what kind of dragon this might be from my research that I've done on dragons?
Make a history check. Would that be the one?
I was just going to go for
Could
intelligence.
Shimmer assist? 'Cause
Sure.
it's
Make a
arcane.
straight intelligence.
I could
That's
probably
not so
assist.
much. You can assist her because of its draconic nature, not because of the arcane.
Okay.
Is this a straight intelligence check or a history check?
I've already clicked it.
I would
just
say-
coming through. I didn't roll well.
The fact that he was able to spot that this is a dragon, now that you have the idea of dragon in context and you're looking around, you can make sense of it. Prior to that, you weren't really able to spot it. It's just a pile of refuse in the corner, and things like that, and you're really only just noticing that now, that these could be the signs of draconic like residue lingering here. As you're doing this as well, Talon is just like, I think we need to move on quickly, very quickly.
Why?
There's enough here as evidence to say that we shouldn't be here. This is clearly some sort of lair. But hang on, it's a dragon. It's a dragon's lair. There's just bones and debris. There's no like loot or no hoard.
Nothing that you guys can see from here.
Strange.
That is strange. Unless these tunnels extend out to a larger lair.
Well,
Large dragons can have lairs that consist of multiple chambers.
I'm torn. Torn by my want to solve whatever's going on the surface, and torn by my pride to slay more.
Alistair, we need to focus and not spend any more time than necessary in this damn place.
And I think it's fair to say as well, if you were to try and fight them, you'd probably alert half the Underdark.
Another valid point. No fight with the dragon's ever going to go down quietly.
No.
Okay, well, we explored what is down this way. At least if we end up waking up from unconsciousness in some sort of pit, we'll know where we are.
What you do see as well is that there seems to be another passageway that's about size for like your, like it's the same kind of like tunnelway that then is on the other side of the room from. Like it seems like the tunnels can lead on from here.
Okay, how many tunnels are leading off from this place?
Give you an idea, there's 2 tunnels that are like 20 foot wide in the ground. That are like, this room itself is maybe about 100 or 100 to like 100 feet wide, 100 feet long, with like 1 tunnel in like the northwest corner and 1 tunnel in the southwest corner. There's at least 3 tunnels then that are like from the ceiling. They're all about the same size.
Okay, I'm going to use my boots of flight. I just want to give a quick scan on all of them. Which one looks like they have the most recent sort of claw marks
or use? Okay, I get it. Make an investigation check.
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
Welcome back.
What I miss?
And a stealth check while you're at it.
See, I was feeling good about it up until he said that. Try the stealth one first. Let's see if we're even. Whoa!
That's alright.
Poor investigation check. Yep.
Oh.
Your modifier for stealth was your tone for investigation.
That's unfortunate.
You begin trying to look around, and like you're looking at like the entrances to the tunnels, and you are like a shadow floating across the room as you're doing this. You have your cape pulled up over all of yourself. You're pretty much just like in darkness. You are just like covered, unless something like directly looks into your hood. They're not going to see like the skin tones or anything. And you're just looking through the room, and you like look up the tunnels, and you don't see anything that could indicate this one is recent, this one isn't. And you don't really know many markers of shadow dragons to even warrant the idea of this is where one might have come through recently. So
okay, I'll fly back down then to the rest of the group, and I'll say, yeah, I'm not picking up any activity. It would literally just be a stab in the dark if we were to pick a tunnel and go for it.
Well, should we go
but
back
there is, I will say this as well, just to emphasize, on the other side of the room, like you're to one side of the 100 foot or like 150 long room. On the other side of it, there's a tunnelway that's like, you know, the 5 by 20 that leads on.
Only 5 foot wide?
Yeah, that's just like the way that your tunnels are. Like the tunnels you've been
unusual.
using.
There's no way a dragon that's coming through 20 foot, like almost cylindrical cavern tunnels would ever get through a 5 foot by 20. That seems odd.
Unless it were to take a form, which we know they can do, but it seems an odd thing to do within its own lair.
I don't know, can shadow dragons? I don't know if shadow dragons
You
can
don't
take
know.
forms. Yeah. I know we've definitely seen metallic ones. I know we've definitely... Well, have we seen non-metallic ones?
You've not seen chromatic dragons take
No,
other
we've
forms.
not. Have I read
Yeah.
that they can do that?
Make just make a general history check.
When we fought the Shadow Dragon, did it seem like it had lost any semblance of its intelligence, or did it just like it had just become
No,
corrupted?
it seemed like it was more being corrupted, and it was definitely it was a green dragon, which you know are notoriously malicious.
Mhm.
This one had just a wicked intent in its mind.
Okay. Because if they've not lost intelligence,
Damara,
that means they
you
wouldn't
cannot
necessarily
recall.
lose that ability to do it if they could. So maybe, but then having said that, if we do encounter them in a 5x20 foot tunnel, they wouldn't be able to change because there wouldn't be enough space. So they would be somewhat easier to detain.
Yeah, you guys would just maul them, stick in a corner, kick them into the alley.
I mean, if we send Grunt down there first, if one comes up in front of us and it's like, oh, I'm gonna make a start on you. Seen Grunt do dangerous things to dragons, let alone dragons in a humanoid form. So
There is also the argument that if this is a tunnel that humanoids are travelling, said humanoids may well be aware that it leads to a dragon's nest and probably aren't too keen to come down it. So
true. Can I go and check that one out then? Because I didn't look at that one
Yeah,
before to
That's
see.
to the other side of the room, so make your stealth check.
Okay. Let's try again.
Give it advantage just because your other one was that down, but yeah, you got 26, so I'd say you're fine. You make your way to the other side, and you listening out. You're like looking around. You don't see anything that would warrant, an indication of creatures being there. Just from your passive perception while you're there. No, there's no activity currently.
Okay. It looks clear. I feel like the other ones I'll agree with. That's walking towards death. This one piques my interest
the other
because
option,
this seems unusual.
the other option is walking back for 3 hours, which is not appealing.
And I have a feeling that if there was something following us from those rock sounds that you were on about, they would have either attacked us by now, or they're just going to be lingering in that hallway. So it's just going to be another problem to deal with.
Yes. The reason that this corridor had nothing interesting about it is probably because those creatures knew that there was something horrible down here and decided not to come down here.
I feel like we should follow this thread.
We'll go with that one.
Grunt, do you mind taking the lead on this for previously
Grunt
mentioned
will
reasons?
take the lead.
I will climb up on Grunt's back just so I can see what's going on over the top.
With a pair of binoculars.
Just using my hands like this.
That would actually make your vision more limited.
Okay, I'll do it over
Yeah.
the old eye.
That would make it even more limited.
This is my good eye.
Both your eyes are very good. They've been God touched.
This one's really God touched though, because you can see it. It's got like holographic. It's worth more. It's a rarer card drop.
Is it? I was about to say, is it like kaleidoscope?
God, do you remember that tunnel we went in Edinburgh?
Oh, that was freaking.
Anyway,
Also, so where are we at?
We followed down.
currently I'm just describing the room because I don't want to shift you to one map just to shift you back to another map. Because this will lead around to another point coming into this area.
It's like tiered.
Yeah.
We followed what seemed like the safest one, and we found evidence of maybe a shadow.
A shadow dragon.
That's about as good as a guess we can get. And we found
Yeah.
is out of all the 20-foot wide caverns, there's one that's 5 foot by 20 foot high, and we're like,
Right. That part I was here for.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's weird. So, okay.
But yeah, Grunt's leading the way, so I lead. I can't see shit, but yeah.
Don't worry, I have a light.
I can go.
Until Alistair tells me.
Watch you later.
Until Alistair tells me, hey.
Yeah, I did the dim thing behind me.
Blinded by the light.
It's also mistaken for the world's smallest violin.
Also mistaken for Alistair's penis.
Ew!
Make group stealth checks, folks.
Hey, I would
Okay.
recast Pass Without a Trace, but I don't have any second level spells.
Yeah, good job in using your 2 highest level spells within the first sort of half an hour.
How to save a life.
Oh boy.
So, Jesus Christ. Okay, you two are perfectly fine. The rest of them, though. Shimmer, you don't have advantage on this as well, just to emphasize.
Hold on. Alright.
So it's an 11, a 14, an 11, a
25.
16, a 25, and a
That's
25.
That's a 7 for Buckley, I'm afraid.
Ah, yeah. You have disadvantage. So you guys are like making your way through, and like there's moments where like you're seeing Tellen, and like almost trips himself up at one point, but catches himself very nervously, like looking around, and you're like, oh god, he's very clearly not meant for this line of work. And then you just hear clank, and just look over, and there's just a skeleton that's just been crushed in by Buckley's boot. And in the depths of the tunnels, you're maybe about 75 feet through this area. You begin. In the tunnels, you can't tell how far away.
That's ominous.
It's very ominous.
I'm going to tap Grunt on the shoulder to stop for a sec.
You all freeze in the middle of the tunnel.
I will climb over Grunt's shoulder and just take a small...
This isn't from... To emphasize, this isn't from the tunnel you're going to. This is from all of the tunnels simultaneously that are around.
Arguably worse.
That's not a good answer. Give me a sec.
Somebody just did a
Look at
pivot.
shield ready.
Blue just like to lean over.
So I hope you've got something on your sheet, because all I've got is knife.
I'd like to use knife.
I have one ability and it is knife.
You have a lot of knife, and you also have a lot of the sneak.
So looking down, like you said that these tunnels are leading also into our 5 by 20 foot high sort of corridor.
You guys have stepped into the 100 foot wide, 150 foot long, and then 60 foot tall room. And there's
so
tunnels.
Before we've even got to the corridor, we start hearing.
Yeah, you guys are in your corridor, making your way to the other corridor. And this is where you made your checks.
We're crossing the threshold.
You're in the room.
We're in his okay.
Yes.
Cool.
That's why you were breaking skeletons and making noise.
I'm going to...
You can't tell from how far away these rumbles are, but there are rumbles.
I'm going to use my Wraith Vision then.
Which does not pass through stone.
Does not pass through stone, no, but I'm going to look around because as if I can see into the tunnels. Is there a peekaboo dragon hiding in the darkness? You know, just sort of watching going,
Okay,
"Ha-ha!"
you've done that now, and you're keeping your eye out to spot anything.
I'm checking out the tunnel
Currently,
entrances.
you do not see anything, but you're keeping your eyes...
Okay, and I'm going to indicate to Grunt. I'm going to climb back on his back. On her back, sorry. And just keep moving forward.
Alistair, you're looking around, and you look at Tellen, and as you've, done your Wraith Vision, there is no, variance for anyone else to see, in how Alistair looks when he does this. Tellen goes pale looking at you.
I have special eyes.
Why is it every prick we meet has got some magic aura? I should just screen everybody with my Wraith Vision when we meet them. So
No. When I say goes pale, I mean he's looking at you, and what he's seeing is making him go pale.
It's not an aura thing. His face is going.
Right.
That's why I'm like.
You're the one with the creepy aura.
Yeah, you're the one scaring him.
Good!
Good.
It's time. I just give him a wink.
We just meet somebody. Hello, sir. What do you think about this eye? Oh, shit.
Hello, Drow, sir. I'm only the chosen champion of the god which cast down your god into the Underdark for all eternity.
Half eternity. Yeah, get it right.
So anyway,
My god likes
what do you guys currently do? Are you still making your way
My God
across?
likes to make.
Yeah, still making our way across towards the corridor.
At what speed?
You want to go
I would
slow.
prefer a slow speed, but if people get concerned, I will go faster because I have reliable talent.
You see, because if we go slow, that only gives you a buff.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying.
And if we're going to fail it, it's going to be because
If
of
I'm,
buff.
that's why I'm saying as a group, I'm happy to let people go quicker.
Let's just go at a normal
Since I'm
pace.
effectively
pace.
the mount, I'll go as fast as I'm indicated to.
Normal
That's
pace.
fair. Okay, so you guys begin making a normal pace across the
Normal pace,
room.
yeah.
Alistair. Yeah, that was perfectly timed. Alistair, as this is happening, you just feel a breeze.
Sorry.
Alistair, you see the cause of the breeze.
I knew he was going to say something like that.
Coming down from the corner that would have been closest to where you guys had come from, you just see a long neck produce out, and you see like these horns that, it's weird, they're horns that drive forward and drive out to the side and curve up to the back. There's like 3 produced horns from the same point on the brow, and these almost opaque, like pale eyes just look out towards all of you guys, and you can tell that there is an illusion effect on this individual currently, as almost like a cat falling down. There is no sound as they're moving. There's only like the gust of wind as it's going, and it's watching all of you. And when it steps into the room, it takes up from, there's essentially a 50-50 split on like the 100 foot wide of this room, like where the tunnels are. So on the side of the wall you guys came from, there's like 50 foot of tunnel there, 50 foot of tunnel there, to either side of it, and he's taking up almost like a full 50 foot from like tip of the nose to tip of the tail to it. I'm not picking from that list.
He's trying to zoom in on his dragon poster.
It's one of them.
I want that one.
Choose your antithesis. Choose.
So to give you an idea, if this was the entrance where you guys came in, and you're trying to go up this way, they've just come down here, while you guys are essentially to here. That's where you're trying to go to, and you're all currently roughly about there.
So how?
And you're
So we're about halfway across the room.
You're about 3/4 of the way across the room currently.
Do we all see this, or is it just
Nope.
Wraith Vision then?
No.
Just Wraith Vision,
Then I'll probably just keep walking.
and you're just walking at a casual pace.
So it looks like he's stalking behind us, waiting to
He's
make
currently watching you all. And Alistair, he realizes that you're looking right back at him.
So he's seen me and I've seen him.
Yeah.
Now look at him, and he
Yeah.
looks at me.
All that
Now
kind of...
look at him.
And you watch as he just begins lowering himself to pounce, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ah shit! I was about to shout something. Damn it!
Hang on, can we get our positioning correct, because people are like back in the
Yeah.
room and stuff. So can we?
We may need a big space for this.
I think for them to do that.
I have
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find a space that would suit this room. Actually, there might be a space on this map. Hang on. There's enough fucking spaces on this. Actually, yeah, here we go. For now, we're going to use a space over here.
Okay.
It's funny just
I
how big this
assume
map is. You
that,
can just use so much of it.
Can I assume Alistair has alerted us to
Nope.
the thing? So
I was about to.
I wouldn't have raged, so my initiative would just be regular.
Nope.
Shit.
Okay, so let's fix this real.
Also, funnily enough, there's no shadow dragon on there. It's just a green, red, copper, black, white, gold, bronze, brass, silver,
hang on.
and blue.
So I'm going to just clear that list. Save your numbers from.
19.
So, folks, if you zoom out your map all the way.
Ah.
Get back, you're not meant to be there.
Ooh, it's big.
Oh, we're over here.
You're over there. And let's
Keeping
see.
in mind, I assume this
Alistair,
is not
I
our
took
actual
Alistair.
location, just a
This is just a
of Balfour.
representation. Yes.
Yep, yep.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But it is closer to about here.
Alistair, you'd be in my back.
Who's breathing
I'll
in their
probably
mic?
be in the front.
So yeah, just put yourself back on the initiative.
That's an improvement from Grunt's one.
Even better. What can I say?
You rolled a 17 and a 1.
Yep.
So that's why.
Thank God for advantage.
Mine was originally 19.
I mean, I guess it's good. Cleric's going last, but
There is such a thing
Damn,
called
it's a
cleric
little
speed.
better.
So yeah, basically you very aware of Beast just saw its eyes go wide as it just lowered itself down. It was getting ready to pounce, and you're about to go shit. And as you're about to scream, you basically get to go first because of the way like surprise works. Everyone else, it's going to go ahead of its initiative. So it's doing like our initiative thing with which we did before, where it's going to take its turn early, and next turn will be on that initiative. So Alistair.
in the next round, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Are we all in correct positions?
Probably not. I don't think Shima's at the front.
No.
No, because
That's the
give
back.
you an idea, you're trying to do this.
Yeah, we're going
Oh.
that
You're
way.
trying to
That's what I
get-
mean. We're right next
That's
to
where
it.
you're trying to go.
Oh, that's where we're going. Then
Yeah, so
yeah,
Grunt
other
and
way around.
Alistair is probably at the back.
Yeah, I've been judging it that you guys have been roughly about a turn away.
So
Okay,
we
so-
imagine that we're in
So
the
Alistair,
line.
you're up first. You see this creature. You see that it's getting ready to move at you.
Okay. First, I shout, "Run!"
Run.
Fog cloud.
Where?
It is a 20-foot radius, which is a 40-foot diameter cube. So I'm going to cast it.
By our powers combined.
Snap to no. I want it to snap to corner. That's it. Let's go for 40 foot by 40 foot.
Helping.
It's a cube. Cucumba. So I'm going to cast fog.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Fortunately, being a warlock means I have a lot more first level spells because of how pact magic works.
Mm-hmm.
I have 6.
How many spell slots do you have?
I currently have 5 first level spells left.
Because of Ranger and other things.
Ranger and warlock.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
We're all
Okay.
in the front.
That's all going to jump up to second level when I eventually get them from warlock, which will be nice.
That's pretty nice.
Because
Isn't it?
warlock is weird. But
So you cast fog cloud so that you're all in vision. Well, you're basically obscured.
yeah, we're obscured by a fog cloud, and I am then going to drop down from Grunt's back. You alright there?
Well, no, I was just going to say.
It's not your turn yet.
No. No, I was just going to say, in terms of it, the way that light would work then in fog, is that the entire thing of fog is now.
Hang on. You know what basically happened then?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Fucking lighthouse.
I'm trying to split apart, but also go nearer to the exit.
Okay.
So I'm going to drop down from Grunt's back and run over there. Run, do.
Don't you move with grunt speed? You
No,
are
it's
mounted.
dropped from her.
Oh yeah, I dropped.
You are currently mounted.
Because I have a feeling that if Grunt sees the dragon, there might be that bit in her head that goes, "But what if I killed this one as well?" And I go, "No!"
I mean, I am close to leveling. He does look exactly like the right amount of XP.
But I'm so
Grunt would wear that
close.
shirt.
I need EXP.
Grunt would wear that shirt. I'm close to leveling, and you look like just the right amount of XP.
So now it's going to be the dragon, which is going to use its 80 foot of fly speed.
Oh,
And just
hello.
like arches back. and is going to jettison out a Shadow Breath. I'm going to say it now. I can't even roll for it. There's more dice than actually Talon has of health. Talon is dead.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
He is just a basic
even
babe.
if he rolled all ones, he would be dead.
Yeah.
Well-
I need a dexterity saving throw from everyone.
Well, we tried.
even me.
Okay. Well,
Well, A for effort, I have to admit, folks, but
Even from me.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah,
be
you
range.
actually, let me check.
Because I don't know, some of them have weird range.
No,
Ooh.
no, because it's a 30-foot cone. And he is just out of range. Oh, you other motherfuckers ain't, though.
Actually, trigger being that I'm in fog.
No, because you can't see it. Because you were in a fog
Just
cloud.
regular, yeah, it's just a
Sorry.
regular
Oh,
deck.
that was a poor deck save from me. Good.
Fail, fail.
Was attempting to help. It didn't work.
You tried. It was a valid attempt.
would Shield Master still work here?
I don't have
You
Shield
don't know
Master.
the danger is coming.
Oh, I didn't know you had Shield Master.
I do. It says if you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw, you only take half damage. You can actually take
But
no
you're
damage.
not aware of it. I would say any way you can make it. Yeah.
I mean, it is, I'm being subjected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's exclusively on you, isn't it?
It's the same to. It's the same with evasion.
It's basically an evasion
It's,
shield.
It's evasion for shields.
It just doesn't do anything if you fail the saving throw. That's still a fail.
Okay, make your saving throw then.
Normal dexterity saving throw. Fuck!
Oh,
point.
Buckley! Oh,
Sue!
Buckley! Why?
Did that succeed?
So everyone,
Concentrate, you get to add the shield's AC to that dex.
so everyone
Okay, 6.
but Grunt takes 54 points in necrotic damage.
I have it because of evasion.
unhelpful.
Wait, hang on. I need to actually check. Did I make that a dex save when it was meant to be? Yeah, it's meant to be a dex save. Okay.
Yep, I take half for evasion, and I'm going to use my reaction to halve it again for uncanny dodge. So half
Okay.
and half.
Right. I still take 54.
Are you still alive?
What do you mean? What are you shaking your head for?
Read it.
Right.
Read it.
That's fair. Never
Yeah.
mind. So just the one half then.
Shit, I
Okay.
thought Fog Cloud was going to be useful for this.
You have killed the
Nope.
soul.
So
What's
It's
half
turn-
for?
this round of combat, its turn is gone. So
Thank God.
it doesn't get to go until next turn. But that is its turn gone. Alice is gone. Elmara. You can see you basically got hit in the back by something.
Shit.
Alistair said run, dropped the fog cloud, and booked it.
Well, now's probably not a good time to test it, but I'm going to see if I can, just because I've seen other people do it. I'm going to attempt to shadow step into the corridor that we're trying to go down. I'm going to grab onto the back of Buckley to see if I can take him with me. I genuinely don't know if I can do this, because I've not tested it.
Now's as good a time as any to try.
I've never done this ability before.
Delicate. Hand on my arm.
You have
Maybe.
the hand that could only belong to Delmara. That scrawny little hand grips onto you. It's like a cat in that it's small, but it is a death grip. Make a charisma check. Both of you.
Both of us, okay.
Because he's not stunned or incapacitated.
Okay, charisma's not my best stat.
Charisma check is a weird.
What?
They both failed to make it. They merge.
I don't know what
Okay.
this means. I've never done it before.
You have to shadow meld to make it work.
I was right.
What does that mean?
So you just grab onto him and disappear into the ground, and both reappear up here.
Oh, wait a
I just
minute.
reappear and I just go, oh my god, I can't believe that works.
I was just reading the rules for Feral Instinct. Apparently, I always have advantage on initiative rolls, but I act normally on a surprise round as long as I rage first.
Ah. Okay, well, you kind of did say you didn't rage.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I've the one who's messed up.
Why would you be raging on a surprise
Just
round.
instantly just goes. Bah! It's more like if there's like this fight or flight instinct in them that just triggers.
Before anything
kind of.
else in rage, but yeah, I didn't declare rage.
I just want to be able to hit you for 54 damage, man. Let me fucking do it.
Let me have this
I would-
moment.
Even then, I didn't do it. I only did 27.
Yeah.
Did you not learn from the last dragon fight, Das?
Okay, and right. So that's your turn, Delmara, and at the end of your turn, you watch as a shadow begins rising up from Telin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck. A shadow
Oh,
shadow.
an actual shadow.
A shadow killed by a shadow dragon.
Yeah, that's what happens with those
And
guys.
you watch as it reaches out and attempts to attack Grunt, because it can sense Grunt where it currently is. And Grunt, you're kind of obscured to everything, so I'm not sure. Would this be with disadvantage or not? I'm not sure.
I mean,
A minute
Or with
ago.
advantage, excuse me. It definitely sees you. It's more like, are you surprised by it? No, I'm going to say it's just going to be a straight
Surprise
roll.
round's over, so it's like.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's just going to be a straight roll. Oh, that's a 20 to hit. So,
That just makes the
it
AC.
deals... Hmm?
That's just enough to hit
So
my
you
AC.
take... Yeah, so you take 20... so you take 4 points in a quad. And your strength score is reduced by 1.
Okay.
So that is your turn. Shimmer!
Okay, my strength score is currently 20.
Shimmer goes, oh shit!
Okay, an attack of opportunity from the shadow.
Which provokes an attack of opportunity from me.
Oh.
Reaches out to attempt to grab you and misses. It has to hit them to provoke your strike.
Probably, yeah. I'd agree with that. I haven't
So-
Okay,
checked
so
yet,
from where I'm at, do I see anything that's
No, you're still in the fog cloud where you currently are.
okay?
Okay, at the end of your turn, I'm going to have the shadow just go on Talon's initiative of 17 then. And I am a fool. I have not had music on. And what do we see the roll? Terror! Terror sounds fun. Terror sounds lovely. Right, so that's their turn. Dragon's turn has gone because it already did its grunt.
Alright, can I see Sweet Bugger or...
You can just see like a silhouette has risen up from Talon, reached out and grabbed at you, and clenched at your heart, and seems like it's just pulled away, sapped away a portion.
I'm down to, from 21 to 20. What was
Yep.
me?
uh,
Well, that could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean to be your
Go ahead.
lawyer, but you said that it did a opportunity against Core,
Shimmer?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nemo would get an attack
Okay, make your
because
reaction.
it's if it makes an attack, it doesn't have
Oh,
to hit
okay.
him.
Okay,
It's
thank
fine,
you.
makes it-
Nope, it's important. Go on, make your attack roll against.
I haven't had a chance to rage, however, so I'll roll a non-rage
This is
attack.
going to be just a straight roll, yeah.
He says, yeah. Oh, wow.
It's just a non-rage, man.
You cut into it, and like the shadow barely holds any corporeal form to itself. Like the person it once was got hit by such system shock. Now it's ghost almost. It's barely hanging on. It's like shreds of itself are barely hanging into the mists currently.
Wow, you killed him so hard his ghost nearly died.
Happens to the best of us.
On the plus side, this is going to be a very brief afterlife.
It happens to the best of us.
I would like to rage.
Mhm. You rage.
And
Larg.
then now with the light situation, I know he's there because he's right next to me.
You see
No,
fuck
kids.
all. It is darkness.
these attacks would normally be done.
These
with
are all at
disadvantage.
disadvantage, and like aside from where you knew you were walking and where you could hear your friends moving, currently you've no real sense of where you. You can only tell that there's something like you can hear like the of the creature next to you. That's
All right. Well, I'm going to make 2 reckless weapon attacks against Shadow Boy. Well, we'll see how many, but
Okay.
at least 1 reckless. Once I've done recklesses, yeah.
go ahead. It's dead.
Ah,
It's deader.
poor Talon.
It's re-deadified.
Very
It
unfortunate
is
that your guy's
unfortunate.
dead.
I'm now mad that I wasted a 4th level spell on him.
Hey, how do you think I feel? I wasted all my spells on him.
True. Yeah.
He's just a small baby boy.
And you
Well,
killed
he's
him.
dead now, Daz.
You killed him.
I know.
Doris, they're just like, oh no, such a shame. Whatever
They
shall
killed
we
her
do?
son, Grunt.
Unfortunate.
Grunt, what else do you want to do on
Yeah,
your
well,
turn?
that
You
An
killed the shit.
unfortunate waste of life.
I assume I have a vague idea that dragon's there, so...
You have a vague idea there's something behind you.
Would I still be able to attack it with... Well, what would end up...
You'd have to step towards it, which, you know, you're
I've got
currently
the
blind, so
thing which
you...
I throw.
Oh, you're trying to throw it?
Throw behind you.
You're gonna... Okay, make it an attack roll. This is going to be at disadvantage. This is going to be a straight roll. If you reckless, it's going to be a straight
Well, I've
roll.
already...
They've
reckless,
already
so-
reckless.
13.
Yeah, it's
Straight
just
roll,
13.
that misses. You just throw it out into the distance.
And then, while winding it in, I'll just book it until I hit a shimmer.
Okay,
Wait, how
it's
far
to make an
is that?
attack of opportunity against you, which is going to attempt to bite you.
But
Nom,
you
nom,
can't
nom.
see him.
It can, and it would have advantage on it as well.
Yes, because reckless.
Oh yeah, shit. God
And
damn
it has blind sight at 30 feet.
Ah, okay, so. Ah, yeah, dragons are blind, so I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah, Shadow Dragons, anyway.
So you take a total of 15 points in necrotic, so you take 7 points of damage. As it just basically just bites into your shoulder, like it barely snags a bit of you, and you just let it take that chunk and you just walk off.
Oh, that's worse.
I imagine it's just like whenever you're trying to nibble at something, just
Yeah,
It is,
basically.
but-
it just
Scratch.
walks off from you. Yeah, it's-
To be fair, I face tanked like disintegrate and whatnot last time, so
Yeah.
yes, I definitely.
In the last 48 hours,
I thought
this
that
is the
was even
least
a-
dangerous thing that's hit you.
Yep. But yes,
She's gonna turn
I
and
move
go,
until I
"And
run
what?"
into shit.
Okay, you get up to there and you bump into Shimmer, and that is your turn. Buckley. How are you doing, my friend? How is your current health pool? Aren't you very glad somebody was able to grab you and take you away from the dragon?
I'm so pleased that works.
You learned something new.
If there was any time it needed to work, it was then.
Alright, anyway. Fucking-
Cries and cleric.
Cries and cleric. Cries and celestial. Who can say where the road
Alright.
goes?
Gonna pat myself on the shoulder and heal myself.
Pat yourself on the back. Yay, I'm not dead. I wasn't the first to go down
I'm
this way.
alive!
Yeah, that's your turn done. Alistair.
Suggest getting away from the hole in case it tries to,
Yeah.
claw.
You're just gonna.
Just give me a second. 20, please stop being a dick. Thank you.
Right. Hit. Okay.
Alistair, it's your turn.
Yeah, so I was just checking on the spell. No, I can't shift it, that's fine. I shall leave it up because it can't see us, which is very useful. And I am going
Currently.
to.
As far as you know,
Yeah,
As far as you know.
it isn't actually useful at all because can't see us very well, but
20, 25.
you don't know that.
Actually,
And
Actually, you have
use
Wraith Vision, so you
the
probably saw that it could
attack
see
to
me fine.
measure distance.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
No, because the current doesn't have an effect on it because its invisibility dropped once it attacks.
Does Wraith Vision not work through fog?
He sees a lot of fog currently.
Okay, yeah.
He's basically got a spell that's doing a sensory overload kind of effect on him, right?
Yep. Just checking. I wasn't sure the mechanics of Wraith Vision.
Do I not? Do I not?
It's like the idea of, like, you know, if you were trying to do Divine Sense as a paladin in the Hells, you get sensory overload. It's like,
Yeah.
you're about to get a lot in your face.
Much when, like in Dread Souls, when you first did Detect Magic and Detect
Yeah, fuck it.
Good.
When I get to there, I'm going to use my action to just dash, and I'm just going to keep going another 30 feet.
Right, so we'll just say you're gone from there, because I don't want to reveal all of this, because I want to
Yeah,
use
yeah,
this
so
for something
I'll
else
just leave
later.
myself
But
over on the side then.
okay.
So yeah.
you have departed. Damara, I presume you're going
Yes,
to...
on my turn, I use my action to do the same.
Talon is dead. Shimmer.
Shimmer keeps running. Let's fuck that noise.
You dash 60 feet along with your friends.
Yes.
You go to here,
yeah.
but your friends just go... Wah. I presume...
Yes, I'm gonna.
I'm going to
go
say as
to
well,
the wall.
Buckley has also said fuck that and has also dashed the same amount. Well, he's ran 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah, it's
the
basically with everybody.
Once again, Grunt is left alone with the dragon. Our thoughts go to the dragon and his family.
How lovely.
Oh shit!
Let's give you another whopper. Make a dexterity saving throw. It's
Tragic.
going to stay back here because it's going to use his action to breath with you.
Yeah, this poster here doesn't indication of anything.
I
He's
still wouldn't
flicking
have
through
an
an
advantage on this
encyclopedia.
because I can't see it properly.
You know you hear the... So this time you will have advantage.
Oh, really? Okay. You sure?
Apparently that top one, S-Class.
This time you'll get it because you're aware of it, don't worry.
Right when he needed it.
Woo!
So you instead take 29 points reduced to 14 points of necrotic damage. Right? Basically, it's like the idea from The Hobbit where everyone's running through the Lonely Mountain and you just see like the back of Thor and just get singed. Grunt gets singed, but on her turn, what do you do, Grunt?
Got it right where I want him.
Cracks knuckles.
Waits for the dragon to poke its
I mean,
head
it's
through the
him.
gap, sticks hell through so he can't pull back out. You mind, bitch!
It can't really stick itself through that space. It wouldn't even be able to stick its head through.
I don't really know how far away the opening is. I don't know. Alistair's made this fog. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So before I keep, I'll probably make 2 regular attacks at him. So these will be at disadvantage.
So you're throwing out your hook, or...
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
you throw out the hook.
Go
Shink,
swing it.
shink.
Actually, I can't do 2 attacks like that, can I? I can only do 1.
It's magical. It kind of like pulls itself back to you, unless you like... No, I'd say, yeah, you can only like throw it out once, because it's very...
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was gonna say because I believe it was.
Yeah, it's just, you can throw it and pull it back.
Roll natural 20.
2 natural 20s.
Go!
I've
Go.
done that before.
Go! Oh.
It's only 17, so I don't let
That misses, yeah. Chink! You hit a scale, but it bounced off of it.
And I'll move to here.
Before you do,
Isn't it?
it's going to make an attack again, and it's going to attempt to claw you. So it's going to attempt to grapple you.
Okay, so I might only move.
That hits, so it's going to attempt to grapple you. So make your athletics check, and we're going to contest it against the dragon's strength.
She has advantage because she's raging.
Yes, she does.
28's a hard one to beat.
Not when it's 26, it's gotta be.
So the dragon rolled 24
On both, yeah.
as its strength checks. So as it's attempting to grapple you, you could just like feel that the claws are trying to, instead of trying to like claw into you, they're trying to grab you, and you just put your hands out and you just hold the claw as you're like, you turn around and you're holding the claw and you're using its momentum, you're letting it push you and you go into the hole from behind. So you just like yourself get shoved through, and you're just like the hand is like trying to claw at you, and as you're doing that, you're just booking back.
I look like the dragon had a +6 and Grunt's got a +9.
To be fair, that's very well. Yeah, actually, Grunt should have had one less from that, which would have brought her down to having
I
a
don't have
+8.
one less because I have a 20 in strength.
Oh, you have a 20. That's correct with your athletics. Yeah, that works out. Okay. It would have been if I had done. See,
21 to
this is
20.
why this would have been dangerous if she had suffered a higher strength
Yeah.
debuff.
Could have been a close one.
Because the dragon could just keep picking her up and dropping her, picking her up and dropping her. Breath weapon, pick her up, dropping her.
Yeah.
Just keep playing with the food. I don't have to fight this. I get to play with it.
So
Throw it
like, The
around.
dragon getting the 17.
Although as it
breath
currently
weapons
stands,
needed
he's
to
probably
kill
very
Nemo.
confused as to why he tried to squish something and it didn't.
Just imagine the ball is now like a cat just ow, ow,
It's like just sat with it. It's like this.
It's times like this.
No, it's just.
Never come my way. Then all I feed on your bone.
Shimmer, do you speak Draconic?
I do.
I do as well.
You may have been born in the shadows, but I have learned from it. Like this bitch here.
Maybe if you spoke normally, people
Grant's
could actually
following.
take
She's
notes.
going to say at the back just in case this thing does figure out how to get through.
Wow. It's times like this I wish
But
we had a
at the
druid.
same point, she's wondering why we're running away, but whatever.
Druids would be good for this.
Druids would be very good for this, but that would have been enough
Sorcerer.
damage to kill. That would have been enough damage to kill Jonathan in one shot.
No, I mean like just like having a druid in
In
the
the
party
party.
would have been good to just be like wall of stones.
Sorcerers can do it as well.
Like that?
Yeah, Kirak had it.
We don't have a sorcerer.
I eventually
We have a
catch up to the
pyromancer.
party, and I
Special
signed
class.
to one of. Who would I catch up to first?
Probably shouldn't.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
Buckley. He was the closest.
Shimmer's a
healed himself.
prestige class.
Yeah.
So
Who do I catch up to first, Shimmer?
I would say you just catch up to you catch up to Shimmer, who's right behind Buckley. No, you catch up to
I-
Buckley first because Buckley would have been healing himself. So he's slightly behind Shimmer, who's behind Alistair, who's behind Delmara. Because currently you guys are doing the running man.
I signed to him. Where's the drow gone?
He did. Alright, anyway.
You came to peace with that very quickly, holy man. Alright.
He's in a better place now. Requistate compace.
Okay.
A fotosante.
Spicy meat the bud.
It's a bit of me, but okay.
It's a spicy divine smack.
The woman making the maneth take.
Now at this point it's
Ashes to
dragon
ashes,
thing.
dust to dust. Let's get moving.
Before
He's where he probably should have been before we met him.
The plus side, this was a very quick death.
Yeah, this was instantaneous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was-
fairly cool
Except
one
for
to
the
go
part
with.
that he died once and then died
He
again.
died by breath weapon rather than been eaten by grimlocks.
Yeah. It came out of
Actually,
nowhere.
this is
It's a
probably like the
more
third
nobler
time
death.
he died today.
Really.
He died as he lived. Sudden.
It's a Grimlock fate.
At least he wasn't with us long enough for any of us to get attached to him in the slightest. We're all just sort of like,
Exactly.
oh, that's a shame.
And besides, when he gets to hell,
That's
it's
a
like,
bit
how
like
did
that.
you
He's
die?
like,
I
oh.
was killed by a shadow dragon. That's pretty cool. Being mauled to death by grimlocks while you're bound is meh.
Not really that great, yeah.
We've all come to terms with this very quickly.
Okay. So, as you guys are making your way down the tunnels and catching your breath, Grunt is the last person to catch up to you all, and you can just see like that shadow energy is just like singeing off of her back. It has the qualities of burning. It's just singeing off of like her back and like the scant bits of clothes that she wears.
Exfoliating.
I'm just gonna tap Grunt on the shoulder with the a lesser restoration.
Oh.
So as you guys are here currently, okay, that will mean that she no longer has the -1 to her strength, so she's back to 21.
Hey.
Hey.
Rest?
Maybe, yeah. For some of you guys. Probably wouldn't hurt. As long as we're sure we've got somewhere relatively safe. I understand we're in the Underdark, but
We'll have a scout, see if we can find an outlying cave somewhere down the
some
line.
sort of alcove where people aren't going to sneak out on us from multiple directions.
I mean, I'm pretty okay at the moment, so we can carry on for a bit as long as everyone else is okay.
But we can keep going until we find somewhere relatively safe.
Yeah. Try and reorient
So-
ourselves and have a look around.
Some sort of tunnel that is a dead end so that we can, like, I don't know, wedge
You guys
the
want to
ship
make your way
into-
forward then?
What's around us?
Currently, you're like going into like a narrower point of it because even like the breakaway from his cave is like slightly wider. So you're only just now getting back to a properly small space again, and the tunnel spaces here are about the same width as they've always been. And Buckley and Delmara, and then eventually Alistair, you guys hear in the tunnels ahead. Tung, tung, tung. What languages does everyone speak?
Oh.
Common and Elvish.
Common Draconic.
Common, Draconic, Celestial, Infernal.
Common,
Ali?
Elvish, Dwarvish, Orcish, Abyssal, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay. Grant, do you understand this?
Thieves can't do what?
What?
Because Grunt speaks under Common.
No,
No.
I don't.
She speaks
She
giant.
speaks-
No, Grant
giant.
doesn't.
Oh, Giant! Fuck!
Yeah, Grunt knows Undercommon. Undercommon, Mountain Goliath. Good connection there, Narwin.
Well, to be fair, Zero did. So anyway,
Yeah, it was
no.
big.
You hear, like everyone else, you just hear like this deep, like thudding noise, and Grunt, you actually like hear a dialect. Why stay here for stupid elf thing? Because elf things give us toys to play with and food. One
I
may
tap-
be the other.
I tap my friend on the shoulder and start translating the stuff with sign language.
You want to be careful, Del. Sounds like you're going to be pretty popular here.
And Grunt, you hear 4 different voices.
I relay that to the party.
Where's Nosdo when you need him?
Probably in a tavern.
Yeah.
That's where
Probably
he was.
on a
That's where
boat.
he was last time.
Probably on a tavern on a boat. Or a boat in a tavern.
Wherever he is, I'm sure he's very happy.
Maybe he's in a tavern, in a boat, in a tavern, on a boat.
Well, he'd be very happy.
Playing a strategy game.
He's in a tavern that is a boat that was upside down.
How far
can
away does
totally
this sound
see
like
him
this is
being
coming from?
Grunt can hear it, so it's roughly... Wrong button. It's roughly about 80 or so feet away.
Time for quiet movements. Should we go and have a look?
Okay, we're up there.
Yeah, just to work out how many are there.
Me, Del, and Grunt will move forward then.
Cautiously.
Yes. In fact, Shimmer can come along as well, but it's mainly I didn't want to leave Buckley on his own, and I didn't want Buckley to come.
Sorry, Buckley, but it's true.
Well, while they're... I'm going to put Line's Bane on the hammer and then put it in my bag, and then slip on the boots and reattune to them.
Alistair, you look to speak to Delmara as you guys are moving forward, and you just blink for a second, she's not there. Then you realize that she is, but she had to turn her head to look you straight in the eyes before you could actually see that she's...
I thought
And
you
it's-
were reacting to what Buckley was saying, and I was like,
No.
he's not doing it. He's not making noise with the hammer. He's just looking at it.
No,
and he was
I
just
roll-
sort of like freaking out. I was
I'm
like,
freaking out because of my fucking stealth
Run.
roll.
Grunt's actually going to grab Alistair before he starts heading off and doing the stealthy thing and says, I'd rather just go up to them. I haven't seen a giant in a long time.
I admire your enthusiasm, but I gotta consider the lives of 5 people, not just one.
That's fair. She'll stealth with you.
Okay.
Very
I didn't think that would work.
It's very noble.
I thought it was mine.
The heart's not in it.
I agree with your sentiment, but no.
She tries, but her heart's not in it and she's not good at it.
I
So,
respect your decision, but I believe it's a stupid one and have chosen to ignore it.
you guys are moving forward, and you're eventually hearing like every now and again you hear kink from behind you, as there's usually like a stalagmite or something like that's physically blocking Grunt that just gets broke,
It's like chipping of stone.
and you just like grab her every now and again to like stop her, just to stop her like movements. And as you guys are going, I have to check which one of these has the high. Oh shit! So you guys are moving forward, and you get to let's see.
I would assume we're likely to find
About
fire giants,
there.
but
Fomorian.
where the hell even are we? Have we
You need to
moved?
zoom out and go up. Okay, we're on this side of the map.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off as well.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
I'm sitting here like, where the hell did we go?
On the very left.
Are you actually coming with us, Shimmer? Because as Spook kind of said, it's like we don't really want to be leaving people alone.
Did I not roll stealth?
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Fine. Leave Buckley alone then. He dies on your head.
He's got healing spells.
Didn't help last
Like his death would be quiet.
Okay, fine. I'll stay with Buckley.
You begin trying to stealth, and everyone just looks at you, and you just turn around.
We'll be back in a minute. We're not going alone. We're just
We're not
having a
going
look.
far.
So, Delmara and Alistair, you're like moving ahead with Grunt maybe like 10 feet behind you, because she's trying, like you can tell she's doing her best to be quiet. And as it's going on, you just hear. "Ugh." You just like almost like feel this inhale of something. And it's something trying to be quiet, which isn't quiet, which is kind of how Grunt is being right now. Grunt, you hear, wait, I smell something.
Grunt, hearing this, is going to just tap on the shoulder and quickly sign. We've been had, and is going to bound forward, and
She just
So
pushes
the
right
first
past
word-
both of you.
Yep.
Hang on, let me just turn
She's
my
going to say
recording.
she's going to just go forward until she sees them, and just say giant, as in question mark. Name Grunt, and then point to them. As in.
Okay, you're going to have to step to here. And as you step into the space, you see two Fomorians, a hill giant, and an Etin.
Do I recognize any of these creatures?
Yeah,
You
one
are
of them's-
aware of what an Etin is because you've killed several in an arena,
Oh yeah.
and you are aware of what hill giants are.
Yep.
But these other ones are like these mutated forms with one eye that's almost like shrunken and shriveled, while the other one is expanded to the point of where it looks like it's about to burst, with all these boils and pustules all around their shoulders, and their back is very much Quasimodo-esque hunched. And they like look towards you with these clubs out, and as you say this, make a persuasion check.
I am saying this in giant, of course.
Yes, you were saying this in giant. Whilst those two are just like,
The pair of
So
us are like
basically it says, like,
singling in thieves' cants in the corridor because we can both speak it now.
It's just back and forth of oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
What do we do? I
Well,
go
basically,
after it? No!
basically by revealing myself, I've also left you sort of more stealth because they already spotted some. So persuade.
now they're expecting more things, though.
I'm invisible.
I'm nearly invisible.
You're both practically invisible.
I don't have advantage.
He's
on that.
literally
You do
invisible.
not have advantage on this.
I'm not asking. I'm telling people because people have a bad habit whenever they see a crit saying, "Oh my god, does he have advantage?" Like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't have advantage. And you're just like, hi, Grunt, you? You say this in giant, yeah?
That's more.
Okay.
Like,
Hello, I'm a small.
No, it's more like this deep, it's almost like this rolling of stones in the back of her throat of... When you've heard her speak in common compared to this, it's like, Jesus, she's got bass. And as you're saying this and you're looking around to them, the hill giant looks like it's looking towards the two Fomorians for like something, but it's stood itself up and just like has this giant club in its hand. The Etin has like a club and an axe in its hands, and they're both just looking at the Fomorians, who both look straight down at you. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Oh boy. I suppose we've had worse endings, to be honest.
I know.
Oh, actually,
Far
we
away
can make
from
this
fight.
worse. We can make this worse. Make a charisma saving throw. 2, actually.
Who, me?
Hey, yeah,
Yes.
that's worse. Oh!
That's the first success. I need another one. And that's also a success.
Ooh.
So you do not suffer the curse of the evil eye from either of them, but you are going to...
I'm going to what, sorry?
Explode.
You're going to take some damage.
You take all that psychic damage. You take 69 points of psychic damage. They roll very well on those dice. And that is how they respond to somebody just walking up and saying hi. Because they are not nice people.
When has walking up and saying hi ever worked?
You're supposed
That's
to walk up
Caven.
and say fireball.
Worked in Duskhaven. Worked in New Grove.
Didn't know!
Worked with Talon.
Didn't know!
Yeah. He didn't have a choice, but it worked.
And with them both looking down at you, with that evil eye glaring out, that's where we're going to end this.
Okie dokie then.
Okay then, well, I guess we'll find out how this goes next week.
I'm on 18 hit points.
Please tell me you're joking.
Nope!
He does not have psychic damage, and he's not raging.
And he wasn't raging anyway!
Yep. So.
And
it's
I had a
like-
dragon chewing and breathing on me.
Yeah, you guys did not stop to heal Grunt. You just proceeded forward.
He didn't stop to heal anybody.
But just to say this, thankfully, because you rolled so fucking high, you did not suffer either attempts of the Curse of the Evil Eye, which are, should you fail the save, the creature is cursed with magical deformities. While deformed, you would have disadvantage on all your ability checks, saving throws, and attacks that revolve around your strength and dex,
Ooh,
and your speed would have been halved.
ooh, that's awful.
So thankfully, you wouldn't have had it.
That sounds.
But they both looked you in the fucking eye.
Fred. I've come.
Good night,
Right.
everybody. We'll see.
Good night, everyone.
See you when we see ya.
Bye-bye.
Next time.
Bye.
Next session will go around.